What's going on, guys? We are back for our next session of Lordly Caliber. We've actually got all 6 of us today. We've gotten our lives and our axe together. You guys will see that the overlay that is shown on OBS has changed. We're going to get in the habit of, like, if a board is needed, I'll turn on the capture device that has, like, Roll20. Otherwise, it's kind of just there, and I'm not saying we're going to convert to podcast, but we're going to convert to, like, podcast with battle map when battle map is required. We're not necessarily going to do a in-character reflection for the hero point. Well, we probably will, but the first thing I have to ask before we get underway tonight to the 6 of you, the next, like, major scripted story event that will happen in Lordly Caliber occurs in 30 days. Right now, we'll start the game at Emeritus makes his way back from, like, outside of Cthulhu, and Xandu winks back in from psychic non-existence, as he is wont to do. You guys,
again?
Yeah. It's the middle of a siege, and Xandu's got, what am I going to do with the caster is following, and he's just kind of staring, and no one's shooting at him. It's weird. Now, you just kind of boop for a second. Essentially, you guys are still in the palace. Well, no, you'd left the palace, and there were, like, skill challenges. You guys are in Cthulhu. The Cult of the Dawnflower, the Eagle's Feather, which now is back to calling itself the Eagle Knights, the random adventurers from across the Inner Sea, all of the above, have taken Qadira back. For the Qadirans, what is your next move, guys?
Did they ever find Torvald?
You did not.
Oh, no.
Okay. I want to take 10 days and spend 800 gold and retrain those feats. That's
Deal.
what I want to do.
Alrighty, party's at least letting 10 days pass then.
I'm going to spend those 10 days looking for Torvald, asking around.
Over the course of 10 days, I would definitely be making any magic items that anyone want to be made. I would definitely be using the blood money to make additional scrolls to cover my undead dragon making.
Okay, so as far as making the undead dragon goes, don't assume that's happening, because, like, all of the stuff about grabbing, like, souls and, like, changing the bones into adamantine and stuff, that's all well and great, but I want that to happen in rolls in the game.
Would you?
Yeah.
I thought making undead, you don't need rolls for that.
There are things. I will say that. Especially because you said you wanted to do it by, like, getting souls, and I'm not going to go rules as written in the Book of the Damned for souls, because, like, that's souls. There will be prices.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just a simple 1 CR1 Lemure soul, I just effectively need for soul.
Oh, that's if you want to just, like, summon a devil and then, like, ruin its day. That's fine. I thought you were trying to get, like, you need 5,000 people from this village to...
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I just think that would ruin Lemure's day. Then summoned him and you were like, getting this giant dragon.
Think about it. I am getting a Lemure out of hell and give him a nice respite to make him loyal to me. Look, you're not in hell anymore, but you're going to serve me and help plants, but you're not going to be tortured by them. This is a nice vacation for a Lemure if you think about it.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, so to confirm for my own sake, Lucio wants to explain the whole plan for the whole class to hear, if you would.
What I want to do is, for this whole, I just summon a low CR contract devil and just pay the CR per gold cost for it. So that would be 1,000 gold. And then the scroll making, so that would be transmutation of the bones. So that would be just a polymorph.
I think for transmuting the bones, I think I want to use necrocraft rules.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that would just be part of the rule then. So,
which I have no idea how those work. Is what I'm saying.
So I would just add AC and DR, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's doable, and then just to break the geese, that I think that's like a DC 26 I looked up for maximum for break enchantment. Am I correct?
And what geese are we breaking?
It would be the bond between me and the rat lich.
Okay. Oh, yes, that's correct. It's not a geese so much as, like, he has given you, like, the ability to pull blood from the innocent for blood money.
Okay.
Which you can break if you would like.
So, I'm just going to probably do it at the end of the week, so I can get the maximum use out of it before I don't have that soul anymore.
All right, sure. And we're trying to animate a black dragon?
Yes.
All right, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find a black dragon's corpse.
Me and you did talked about it. I just simply pay the market price on the multiverse for it.
Did we talk about that? I don't. There's been a lot of stuff get talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, any bodies for me?
Yes, we talked about it. I just pay the gold price effectively, so that'd be burning up most of the gold I got.
All right, hang on a second. It's not that I don't believe you.
Yeah, I think it's like 200 gold per hit die, so that would be like about. It is a lot of gold.
Mm-hmm. What kind of? Oh, I see. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, you could probably. I think I would still like you to roll percentage dice because this is a little, like, it's not like finding a horse, but it's like it's doable. It's just a matter of if it. So if you would please, a 68's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. You are, well, not you. Probably through a bunch of sketchy back alley deals. Mercutio is willing to make it happen.
Cool.
They are able to produce the skeleton of a young adult black dragon.
Cool. So I have a undead dragon that.
But now you wish to animate it?
Yes.
Now I need you to roll percentage dice again.
Okay. I have this scroll create undead.
Correct. Roll percentage dice.
Do I need to use my hero point?
You might.
Okay. Okay, 72.
Okay, exactly what spell are we using?
Okay, create undead greater.
Create undead greater.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And what are we trying to make exactly?
Yeah, I'm just reanimating the bones to have a sentient undead dragon, effectively.
Okay. Now remember, in combat, this will function like a troop.
Yep, I know that.
Alrighty. Okay, so the spell resolves. You're able to animate it, but make a knowledge arcana check.
Okay. Uh, 22.
22. All right. So you know, like, as you're trying to pull the soul of this dragon, because there is, like, whether or not we're using a Lemure to power it, there's still a little bit of, hold on, there's still a little bit of that dragon's, like, his soul is still part of the equation. Mm-hmm. And as you're trying to, like, pull it, there's a little bit of resistance. There's a little bit of, it's kind of like the soul doesn't want to go quietly is the best way to, the best way to describe that. You're not sure what to take from that. You know it seems to be fine now, but again, it's all, like, there's something else at work here.
Okay, so can I use a spell later on to break that connection to only have a Lemure soul?
It's possible. It's, again, it's all kind of, like, up in the air. It's kind of confusing to you because it shouldn't work that way. It should have worked the way you thought it did. There's just something else happening there.
Okay, cool.
It may be because this dragon's soul, like, is coming from the bone ship, and there might be something at work there. It might be just, like, a consequence of messing with a very powerful necromancer. Time will tell.
Okay. And then just for the break enchantment scroll, I'm going. So what DC are you using? Is it just the geese DC set?
Is this for breaking the enchantment between you and the Ratlich? I will not tell you until you attempt.
Okay, so I'm going to be using my action point. So that's a D6, right?
Yep, you would add a D6 to it, correct?
Yeah, so that would be wait.
I'm just looking at break enchantment right quick.
Yes. Okay, so 21.
21 against a DC plus of 11 plus caster level.
That was a natural one.
Oh, that was a natural one. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to not have that be a natural one?
I used my heal point.
He just used his hero point in the first 5 minutes of the game.
What did he use it on?
To make sure that the resurrecting of the dead it is a successful thing.
Oh, you didn't need to use your hero point. You rolled a.
No. Oh, okay. Then we going to re-roll that.
Yeah. You asked if you needed to use your hero point. I said
okay,
you didn't have to.
32. So yes.
All right, 32. I forget what the DC is. 11 plus caster level. Okay, so.
So that maximum of 15, right?
Uh-huh.
Looking at these. So that's like 26.
So it's. So you make. Against the DC, the maximum of the caster level for the effect is his caster level. So then that means the 32 doesn't break it.
The 32 doesn't.
Does not.
Oh, I thought it was 16, 15 with his max, with the caster level max for that.
15 is the max for your caster level check.
Okay. Okay, so that doesn't work then.
Correct. It's kind of like you threw a rock at a like adamantine wall, is the effect. Again,
okay.
This guy is kind of like not kind of. This guy is one of the most powerful, oldest necromancers in Galerion's entire history. Being rid of him is gonna be it's gonna be a lot more trouble than just kind of going in and signing up in the first place.
Okay. Okay, you need to roll better then.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so I've heard from Donald. I've heard from Kane. Kane retrains his stuff. Ennerling is looking for Torvald. He makes a perception check. He makes an intimidate check. Okay. While Ennerlings is resolving, the rest of you, do you have anything you want to do? Not to cut off Joe, but I want to hear from everybody else first.
Well, if Home Slice is done trying to free herself from a contract that she signed or whatever, then Pogue wants to see if he can get some weapons upgraded. But if it's not going to be half price, if I'm going to pay full, so. Oh,
you would pay half price. That's still an item crafter.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's upgrading the weapon, so he pays the difference between 1 and 2.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's not crafting prices applicable because they're not crafting it; they're just upgrading the weapon. There's no crafting prices for it. It's you pay the difference between the two. Period.
Oh no, one of them's a +1, but I wanted to take a non-magic weapon and make it a +1 keen.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I can do that. Just making it so that would be like about 4 days of work.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Well, go ahead and make the rolls, Donald, if you would.
34 total. So. All
right, so that's the first enchantment. Then we need the other one. He wanted +1 and keen.
Okay, so 22.
I think they both succeed.
And then another 30. So yeah.
All right, deal.
Okay,
you got it.
Can I get you to add a +1 onto my already +1 sword?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's rolled 3 spellcraft checks, so you're good.
Yep.
Okay. So how much money is that I'm losing total?
So for the first weapon, the +1 keen, that is 4,000 gold right there.
Okay.
And then the weapon, second one, you just pay the difference, right? So the difference between
the difference is what, 6,000?
Yes.
So I pay the full difference, not a half, or is it a half?
Are you trying to upgrade something, or are you buying a new thing?
No, one is upgrading. So the upgrading.
You would pay the difference.
Okay, so it'd be $6,000 to go from a +1 to, okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think I kind of heard from Xandu.
Otherwise,
little bit. Some shopping he wants to do other than that, but
yeah, I'm sorry, go on.
I did want to have a chance to react to Adjutor, at least his body.
Okay, he's not dead. He's not dead. What you would get from the party is he was here for a little bit, long enough to mock Hassan for his failures and how the kind of an experiment has failed and certain people are only worth so much, blah blah blah, and then he left before the party saw his face. It's just that Donald recognized the voice.
Oh, okay. So we didn't get a chance to. For some reason, I thought he was the one we fought.
It's all good.
No,
Gotcha.
Pogue went after him and couldn't find him.
He did.
So there was no trace or anything, so just vanished.
Alrighty, so I've heard from everybody who's trying to speak. Are you guys trying to like stay close to each other during this 10 days, or are we going our separate ways?
Yeah, Xandu has a little bit of shopping to do, but other than that, he's going to stay pretty close to
The squad?
probably Enderling.
Okay, so what happens is over the course... I'm sorry, Dolan, go ahead.
Tommy, during the week, I would train Yerva in the arcane arts and see if the repose corpse help restore his arm.
Okay, go ahead and roll percentage dice real quick.
Also, did we get any notable loot last time that I missed?
Not really.
Yes, you got
Okay, so
8,083 gold pieces. 8,083 gold pieces and 10 silver.
63.
8,083 gold and 10 silver?
Yes. And we have 2 weapons that are, or 2 items that are party loot now.
Correct. Donald, the 63 is, we'll say it's good enough. If the spell resolves, his arm restores itself. I'm going to roll percentage dice for Yarva really quickly. And I roll badly. Okay, so Yarva's arm is restored by Restore Corpse, excuse me. The muscle and the skin and all this grows back onto him. And he's happy about it. And then he wanders out, like, while this is going on, Mustafa's demiplane is emptying into Kathir. The Root family is beginning to set up around, like, the, like, waterways around Kathir and starting to grow farms. The Blue Kobold Emporium takes up residence in Kathir. And in addition to this, so does Fafnir's Envy. Like, the whole demiplane is basically just being closed because it's no longer needed.
Oh, so this shit just is ours now.
Yes.
Okay.
And so is the entire nation. Yarva, as you guys are going around and he's being taught the arcane arts, he walks out of a building, and as he does so, much as it happened to you, a sign falls on his head. He's fine. He doesn't die, but it's like the bottom half of the sign is just sharp enough with the momentum that it like shores half his face off, essentially. He kind of like, he almost 2 faces out. Like he just kind of turns over, just, "That hurt, comrade!" As like his like skin is flopping on his face. He appears unhurt, but it's very grotesque. People definitely as it happens.
I am going to use my class feature Lich Touch to heal his wounds up.
All right, sure.
Is there like, what's up with that sign, man? Does someone have like a special link to that sign?
Okay, so
specifically,
so Yarva is healed by 9. That sign it need to be taken down or be put in a better place.
Now this is a different sign. This is just this isn't Fafnir's Envy. This is just some random shop. And he's healed. The wounds stop, like, I mean, they look bad. He's undead, but it doesn't look as bad for him. He just kind of like twitches a little, not in a bad way, not in the "ow, negative energy hurts me" kind of way, but in the like you defibrillator him in the face, essentially. Cool. That sounds bad. All right, now that I've heard from everybody else, Enderling looking for Torvald, and I heard that Xandu wants to be with him as well, so Xandu will be there for this. Yeah. You guys go in the Envy. Let me real quick, I know Enderling already made one, but to play Baelor's advocate, Xandu, Enderling, anybody else who wants to be with those two, make a quick perception check for me.
You want me to make a second, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you would.
Okay.
Tommy, did you see what Pogue is doing in the chat?
I did.
Okay.
I'll get to that in just a sec. Let me... Okay, so... And this is going to screw up OBS for a second. It screwed up OBS for a second when I tried to import it the first time.
Okay,
I need to just shrink.
I'm just curious. So, what is the enchantment cost you want to have on the armor item?
Well, I don't need them right now, and I'm not sure I can afford the ones I want.
Okay, just get the gold, and then once we have more downtime, I make it for you then.
Yeah, perfect.
Welcome to the world of the item crafter. So everyone on OBS can see me messing with this token, because I want to put it on the board, but it came up so big that it distorted all of the entire overlay. I'll set it right here where we all can see it, and then I'll bring it up for you guys. As soon as you enter the Envy, you see that I almost said Fafnir's mother. That's an entirely different connotation. Enderling's mother has gotten up from her chair, up from her state of catatonia. The whole, all of the tavern is in an uproar, up to and including Torvald. Torvald is here as well as, man, I cannot talk. There's a young woman that's taken up place in between. Also, yes, fan, 17 to 20 would be the threat range of a 19 to 20 keen. She's taken up residence, like, seemingly in the NV, and she's pretty much always glued to Ennerling's parents. She kind of, like... Imagine if Ennerling was a human and had a twin sister. That would be this young woman that you see before you. Everyone, including both of Ennerling's parents, including Torvald, including all the cousins, all of the Ulfen, are just overjoyed to see her. The mead and the vodka and the ale and the vodka, and that's all that's apparently sold here from what happened like 5 sessions ago, flows freely at the return of this young woman who seems to be just as capable behind the bar as Ennerling or Ennerling's parents, if not more so.
Xandu has a feeling he knows who's behind this, but not quite positive.
It's a doppelganger marker.
Fucking smash her head in.
Do you have a sister?
No.
I was gonna ask the same thing. Cousin?
Many. But she is not one of them. They all live in Grunby.
At that, I suppose Xandu will choose to disbelieve her.
Alrighty, make that will save.
Gotcha.
Tommy, I'm just going to roll another spellcraft to include my armor.
Okay, understood. Make that spellcraft check. It succeeds.
So...
Xandu, you choose to disbelieve the young woman, and nothing happens.
Even with a +10 versus mind affecting.
Correct. For as far as like your senses can tell, and you know your senses are a little loopy, she appears to be real.
Interesting.
Like, that's good enough for me.
I have a feeling the Blue Kobold Emporium is behind this in some way or another.
Does Captain Chaos know what's going on?
You're welcome to ask him. If nothing else, that takes me out of the role-playing equation for like 10 minutes.
Not Captain Chaos in the jar, but Enderling's second persona. The real Captain Chaos.
You can make some kind of check. I'm not sure what exactly, but like you're free to roll dice around. When I say it like that, it sounds like you have 0 chance. That's not what I'm trying to convey here. I'm not sure what check.
roll some dice and
I'll tell you what happens.
I'm not that GM, I promise. Oh, you know, I did forget to say we are joined today by both Colin and Kane of the Inn of Planar Crossroads. Guys, don't forget to go check them out. They're super awesome. We like to rise some rune lords. We like to have one-shots. We like to go around the hearth. And they're super awesome, so yeah, get there.
Well, thank you.
Get there. 1 second, I'm fixing my character sheet. Please wait. And it's almost done, I think.
Donald, I'll make a token for the dragon once it becomes relevant. It might not be relevant today.
Okay, cool.
What is the size category? Is that large? It is.
Large.
Okay.
Large. Yeah, I'm currently working on the creature's stats.
Okay, cool. Then we made it a, what is it now?
Oh, it is hit die 18.
Okay.
So,
it doesn't have, oh, well, yeah, it could, because you can have double your hit dice. That's correct.
I'm just gonna roll a nature check that I have bonuses in. That's what I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
Would it only be 16 then?
Yeah, Donald, do you have something that increases the amount of undead hit dice you can control? Because you're level 8.
Yes, it's the prestige class feature.
Oh, yeah, because you're an agent of the grave, that's right.
And then my wither class, so I can control up to 32 hit die.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. As long as you're being honest, I know like nothing about necromancy and Pathfinder. This is the first for me.
I had to double check with the amount of hit die, and I generally never actually use undead hit die to control, except when I GM, I just say the necromancer control X amount of undead, and I don't need to look rules as written on a GM.
It is definitely a lot of hoops to jump through. Not saying it's a bad thing. Like, I want you to be the best necromancer on Galarion, but it's like this is all brand new for me. I digress. Xandu, is that knowledge arcana? Like, is that to help with what's going on?
Yeah, as is Enderling's knowledge nature. We're just sort of putting our brains together to figure out what
my
exactly...
knowledge nature is basically just like a knowledge personal history check, if that's applicable.
Alrighty. I guess, like, for Enderling's sake, there's been times when there's been whispers around, like, dark and dimming fires at late nights in the tavern where it was talk about how your parents tried to conceive a girl once, but it's all really like hush hush and nobody says anything about it, and it's definitely a really, really sensitive subject. The Arcana check, it's kind of...
That's basically analyzing, you know, if this was the Blue Kobold Emporium, what exactly did they do to create this seemingly real person? Like, well, he's a vivisectionist, so maybe.
If it was, and it could be, like, this could be illusory magic that you're not powerful enough to see through. It could be maybe even like this is a simulacrum or another brain farting, another homunculus, things like that. But to both of you, like, she appears to be just a young human female. Both, well, really pretty much everybody, mother, father, and all of the Madsons that are here, they call her Cabana. And it's kind of like the long lost daughter has come home. While this is going on, also, they don't necessarily give Enderling the cold shoulder, but it's kind of like he's fallen out of popularity at the high school dining table, essentially. I guess is the best way I can think to say that.
He went from being the least favorite only child to the least favorite child.
More or less, yeah. That is a much better way to phrase that. Thank you very much.
Dang.
Oh, how nice! I just had a look at Create Undead, making it half price. I'm definitely gonna have fun looking up Undead.
How are you making it half price, my man?
Oh, I am making the actual scroll.
Oh, okay, fair enough, got it.
Yeah, I had the feat, and yeah, pretty awesome.
Okay, gotcha.
He's the red-headed step troll.
Oh, how
Kane can
nice.
have an action point for that. That was good.
How nice. Are you also named Annie as well?
No, again, anybody who goes in the Envy at any point during this week would see here. There's kind of like a perpetual party going on.
3 action points for Kane.
So, I think Xandu is going to step out and try to find Arendelle or Irendelle or whoever he can find in the area from Blue Kobold.
All right, and Joe, those will saves, I suppose, are to...
Those will saves are... The first one is for Chaos to take over.
Okay. It's a lot harder for Chaos to take over, and that's mostly because he's in a bottle now. It's a little less he takes over, a little more you are able to, like, harness him when you need... Well, harness them, it's awkward. When you need them, so there's not necessarily, like, a flip.
Okay, well, the reason I made that check is because Enderling is upset by it. When he enters, he sees this girl, like, just, like, receiving the same things that he would. But, like, for some reason... Like, he said his mother's up and walking around?
Yeah, it's like she's just fine. Like, nothing ever happened.
Yeah. So, we are going to activate our our mutagenic ability.
Okay.
And then we will automatically enlarge pretty soon.
Okay.
Oh boy, this is probably happening like right as
Xandu's like going out the door.
Yeah, as Xandu's going out the door, Enderling is like smacking someone in the back of the head to kill them.
Yikes.
Alrighty, that sounds like
glad I'm not here.
Just a random person nearby.
Just some random dude.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna grab dice. Okay, so as you enlarge yourself and start just like running into a rando. I guess the best way to word it is like when you enlarge yourself, you reach Torvald's eye level, because he's not a small dude, and he sees this and he kind of just like, he walks over to you as you start getting real angry and just, come with me, this is not the place, we need to go. And he's like, as he's saying this, he's actively like trying to turn you around and push you out the front door.
Xandu will step out of the way as this is happening. Like, he's in the doorway, and he's just gonna like, whoop, sidestep to the wall.
He's just gonna turn Midwestern.
We'll see if Endling's the first roll. We'll see if he can beat Chaos here. Yeah, he can definitely beat Chaos. He'll like let Torvald push him out of the door.
All right. So Torvald leads you. Cthulhu's a pretty big city. Cthulhu's like 100,000 people, and the people here are, I mean, it's a liberated population. Everybody's super happy. The wine and spirits flow. It's a town that's just been liberated. Again, everything is super great. There's parties in the streets pretty much forever. And Torvald just kind of like leads you into the quietest back alley he can possibly find. Xandu, you definitely see this happen.
Yeah, Xandu will follow unless somebody says otherwise.
Joe?
I mean, yeah, I let him push me into the...
No, I mean, like, do you let Xandu follow you is what I'm saying.
That's fine. I don't exactly care.
Alrighty.
I have more tunnel vision at the moment.
Fair enough. Alright, so it's like the quietest, what's that thing that happens in New Orleans? Man, I sound stupid on the internet.
Mardi Gras?
Mardi Gras, yeah. Like the quietest Mardi Gras festival street that one could possibly find. I know one of my patrons is going to see this, and they're from Louisiana. Damn it. Oh, well. Torvald, he looks uncomfortable. Not, like, it's very out of character for him to be uncomfortable in this way. Like, it's kind of like there's just been this big secret, and we wanted to tell you earlier, handling. It's very complicated. You have a sister.
I do not.
Torvald just kind of like looks at you unblinkingly.
I'm just going to stare back at him for the most part. Probably like continue just to like pant heavily.
Okay.
Xandu will listen quietly.
The circumstances of your birth were not exactly... It is a long story. It is not for me to tell. It is for your father and your mother to tell. But suffice it to say that strange things happen in Grungia Forest. Strange things happen when you make deals with the Earl King. And somehow, through Providence, your family has got the daughter they thought they had back. They love you. They do. They love you very much. But this is all just very new for them. Just give them time.
So you said Chaos is fully aware of, well, I've said before, but you have agreed that Chaos is fully aware of how Enderling was created.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah. So Chaos is probably just going to shout from his bottom, like, she needs to die, it's not right. This time probably actually being, like, his only, like, this time not actually being, like, truthfully evil.
Okay. Torvald just kind of, like, looks at the little adamantine vial, just, like, out of the corner of his eye with disgust and says nothing.
I don't know how Enderling feels about it. Well, I do know how Enderling feels about it at the moment, but, so we're, like, in a quiet place where there's no one around.
Yeah, it's the quietest place that can be found. There's probably, like, people are around-ish, either, like, passed out in the alley or canoodling in the alley or some combination of the two. You guys, like, you're alone. No one's trying to interrupt you, but, like, you'll definitely have to, like, step over a couple of passed-out bodies to get back to the street.
So if that's the case, then Enderling would probably, like, I need to be alone, and just, like, storms out of the city.
Out of the city?
Yeah.
Okay. It can be done. Torvald
And
watches
probably
you
goes
go
out
and,
just, like,
and like turns and goes back to the Envy.
probably like rips a tree out of the ground when he does
Zandu,
so. Not when he does so, but when he leaves.
Zandu will look at Torvald and ask, do you happen to know if the Blue Kobold Emporium has anything to do with this?
What the hell is that? He says as he still continues to walk away.
Never mind. Thank you, though.
He doesn't like you very much. He likes Enterling.
All right. We suppose Zandu will try and find Arendil, which is...
That's the homunculus. Pronounce the A, it's the
Homunculus.
Homunculus. Pronounce the E, it's the half-elf.
I always get that backwards for some reason in my head, which is why I keep asking. So Zandu will probably try to find Arendil if possible.
Alrighty, roll some percentage dice. Also, Van, you are able to
Cool.
find a bag of holding and buy it. As far as like getting passage by ship to Casimir, we'll cover that when the party like is done with stuff.
Yeah, no, I was just letting you know what he was doing. He's just kind of picking up loot and whatever, and he's fine in the background while they're doing this. So
Understood. All right, Donald,
Unless
you are
there's
unable to
looking
find Gunnold. He's probably here somewhere. If you spent like a couple days asking around, it's possible.
Yeah, I am imagining in Lucia's mind, Gonod, he must be with with the other women casters.
How dare
you
he?
know? Yes. I mean,
All right.
Let's go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Do you need Pogue to take you shopping, Lucia?
Nope. I did what shopping I did before.
He knows how to dress a woman.
If I missed it, how does crafting, like, time work for 8,000 gold?
That's 8 days.
8 days?
Yes.
1,000 gold is 1 day.
How backlogged is Lucia?
Backlog is hell, probably.
I used the 10 days to make the armor enchantment bonus for me and the swords for Poe.
Is there anything else you have to do?
That is all. So that's used like the 10 days I have. So I'm just curious. Did I manage to recruit? I'm going to go to see if I get lucky recruiting another magic item maker for the party.
Sure, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you tried to get lucky.
14. So
Nope, you do not. Not at all. All right, so Colin, you're searching for the Blue Kobold Emporium. He's here. You know that Mustafa's demiplane has collapsed on itself because, again, it's no longer needed. Everybody is filed back out into Qadira, and most of the people who aren't native, like I said, the Root clan is just set up outside the city along the river, and the name of that river is escaping me, and I don't want to sound terrible, so I'm gonna grab the map of Qadira, or the map of Kathir, and the party's gonna see it. Well, the party won't see it.
Francis will be out with his family. I don't know how much time I have to spend specifically retraining, but
You're
that's
fine.
where
We'll make it
his
happen.
free time is die there.
Yeah, the Root clan is set up along the Poshman River, just like making it verdant and fertile. And as you're trying to find the Blue Kobold, Zandu, you turn a corner. As you do so, you kind of just like smack headlong into an invisible wall. Like you're moving through an alley, dodging over people that are canoodling or drinking or otherwise just happy that they are free. And it's just into a wall. As you do so, like it kind of, it's almost like some like secret funhouse door, how like you hit it and the momentum of your walking continues you forward, and you kind of like make a reflex save, actually, is what I'm gonna say.
I kind of like make a reflex save.
Yeah.
Trying to say.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's a very good reflex save. All right, so it could, again, like a funhouse door, it kind of like, it leans forward and you can tell it like it rotates on an axis in such a way that like you put a little too much weight on this and you would like fall headfirst into whatever's on the other side of this invisible wall, but you're able to catch yourself on what you perceive to be the sides of the thing. As you do so, you see that Arendil has a pistol pointed just straight out into this hole and just, fortune teller. He puts away his pistol and like moves forward and pulls you in. Welcome to the Blue Kobold Emporium. Please forgive the renovations. You see, there's a young kitsune girl has fallen into a psychic coma in my basement, and now that I don't have a demi-plane to hide in, precautions are, of course, necessary. What can I do for you today?
Understood. I saw what appears to be Enderling's sister recently. I know you were talking a bit about that. Did you have something to do with her sudden appearance?
What are you talking about? I haven't left my shop since I was kicked out of the demi-plane. There's, again, a young woman has taken up residence in my laboratory.
Would you prefer I move her somewhere else? Or...
Well, if you wish, you may do so. I won't stop you from doing so, of course. The forces of Leng are still out there, and if she leaves the humble abode of the Blue Kobold Emporium, I cannot guarantee her safety.
Understood.
Make a quick sense motive, would you?
Yeah. Yeah, could have been better.
It's not that he's upset. There's a bit of a circumstance bonus here because you've had a lot more relation with this guy. It's not that he's upset that he has to do what he has to do. He has to do it, so he's going to do it. It's more that he's been suddenly evicted while he has to do it.
Okay, fair enough. That's definitely understandable if you're suddenly evicted from somewhere. And he's not saying this out loud. This is just me thinking.
Yeah, you just 1 and 1 makes 2.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Emeralda, how is she?
Would you like to visit her? He continues like... Well, he doesn't continue. As he says this, he kind of just like turns as if he's going to go down into his lab.
I would very much like to. Thank you.
All right. So he makes his way down the stairs, and you can, without making a check, you can tell that the door to his lab is considerably much more warded since he's left the demi-plane. There are a series of spells he has to undo, mundane locks, magical locks, more spells. There's even like a little portal opens up in the door, and you see like the vague outline of, I'm lawful neutral, the vague outline of a oh god, what are the inevitables? They're called inevitables. Yeah,
inevitables.
Thank you. The vague outline of an inevitable, like a floating robot brain with wings and one big eye, just kind of like come through. Intruder, no, back, and he pushes it back into the gate, closes the gate. The door opens, and Emmy is still kind of just sleeping soundly.
Before last I saw her, there was a recent development with some sort of shield. Have you made any progress with that?
Let's see. Has he? I have not. You see, when you are evicted from relative safety to the back alleys of some street in the middle of nowhere, things take priority.
Understandable. Thank you for what you're doing, by the way.
He nods, and he kind of gets this like superiority complex smile on his face as this happens.
If you are curious, though, there is... Enderling's family is rejoicing, and his mother is out of her catatonia as what appears to be his sister has suddenly shown up, and everyone appears to believe that it's genuinely her, and she definitely does not seem like an illusion.
I see. Then what does she seem to be?
person, as far as I can tell.
Intriguing. What do you plan on doing with the troll boy, then?
Well, he said he wanted to be left alone as he works through things. He seems a bit shocked as well as a little jealous, but I think he'll be fine.
I see. Irindel is going to make a quick Knowledge Arcana check. He kind of has stats. He has as much stats as like a pseudo GM PC needs to have. He probably adds, he's pretty high level, he'd add like that. Probably adds more actually, probably adds like, this is his jam. He adds that. Irindel just gets really quiet. He, like, his hand begins stroking where the, like, what little scraggly half-elf beard he can put together that is really, like, unshaven and very out of character for someone who keeps himself as clean as he does. It's just, like, he goes very pensive thinking about all this. He says nothing, though. He just, like, he kind of withdraws into himself.
You,
Yes.
You don't seem to be quite your usual self today. I'm sure you have a lot to worry about, but if you could use some assistance, I should be free for a while. I just would like to get Lucia to craft something for me, but other than that...
10 platinum says I do it better than some Chelish whore.
Oh. Well, I am sure you are an excellent crafter. It is just a matter of price. And how much I can afford.
I see. What is it that you need?
A headband of alluring charisma.
Okay.
Mechanically speaking, a +4.
+4. Let the percentage dice decide your fate. Irindel snaps his fingers and one appears in his hand. Lucky for you, with all the downtime I had babysitting a girl in a demi-plane at the behest of the seer of Varisia and all the holy men one could shake a stick at. Time comes for crafting. Of course, you know the price. Mechanically, it's the same price. It doesn't matter who crafts it.
Oh, so it's crafting prices, not...
Correct. And he's willing to offer you crafting prices.
Yes, that's what I was making sure.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
So I wasn't sure if it was crafting prices or normal prices, but if he's offering crafting prices... Yeah, Zandu will gratefully take the offer and how much do I have? I gotta math real quick.
Welcome to Pathfinder.
Yeah, right.
Alright, so I've heard a lot from Zandu while he's mathing. Does anybody else have anything they... Well, I hear that Lucia wants to do some communing with her imp.
Yeah,
Totally thought you were gonna say masturbating.
I'm currently working on the last commune spell, so I will figure that out in a minute.
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty.
Alright, so Zandu will take the offer and leave an extra 1,000 gold as a tip for getting it done so quickly.
You do this, and Irindel kind of like... He goes back and he, like, eyes you up and down again, is like trying to figure out how much of an idiot you are for overpaying, essentially. Just, thank you, as always, for Shopping with the Blue Kobold Emporium. The change clinks.
Tommy, I've got the questions.
You've got the
figured.
questions.
Yep. The first question is the Ratlich phylactery on his demiplane. The second question.
All right, hang on. Let's do them
Yes or no questions.
one at a time.
My dude.
They seem to be. Yeah, those are all yes or no questions. Oh, question 5 is it?
Of magic. Yeah.
Yeah. It is more hints.
For commune, I'm pretty sure commune is yes or no.
Okay. So
I could forget, or I could definitely forget. I could be misremembering.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so change the fifth question. Is the Lich favored magic school necromancy then?
Okay, sure. So your first question is the Rat Lich's phylactery on his demiplane? No. Second question is the Lich's phylactery a small item? Mechanically, no. Physically, yes. Question 3.
So the first.
Tiny item.
Okay, I am writing the question down on my side. So
Oh, sorry. Rat Lich's phylactery. First question, no.
Okay.
Second question, mechanically no, physically yes. Does that make sense? Like it's not the size of a halfling. Third question, is the Lich an arcane caster? Yes. Fourth question, is the Lich a divine magic user? Yes. Fifth question, his favorite school of magic, or rather, what was it again? I'm sorry.
Necromancy.
What about it?
I'm just figuring out what is his favorite school so I can counter him when we're going to face him.
Oh, okay. So you're asking, is his favorite school of magic necromancy?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Cool.
last question, can I use the bond between you and the Lich to locate his demiplane? I want to say unclear, but I'm going to read how this works, because I don't want it to... Cases where a one-word answer would be misleading or contrary to using a short phrase. I'm just going to go ahead and say... I'll let the percentage dice decide. I won't say unclear. We will let the percentage dice decide how this campaign is going to go. Yes.
Cool. I know my next course of action now. Or at least part of the action.
Alrighty. Alright, so does anybody else have anything they want to do before we take a week forward?
Other than that,
Take a
Xandu's
week?
probably going to, if
Wait.
Erendil will have him, Xandu will be assisting him in the shop.
Yeah, that's fine. At this point, he's just warding the bejesus out of it.
Okay. He's just warding it.
Yeah. Setting up a lot of, like, magical and mundane traps, even, like, down to just, like, this simple Fallout-esque open the door, a shotgun goes off in your face kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So what's the profession rules for making money?
Bad. I'll say that. Like,
Yeah, you're not gonna want to.
you make, like, if you roll a 25, you make 25 gold in a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody-
Which, of course, is great for a non-adventurer. Like, that'll set you up. But
Right.
for us, it's kind of real bad.
Yeah.
A quick question. I can make a scroll of protection from evil. Does anyone want one?
Sure.
Okay, so whoever wants one, I can make one for everyone.
That's
Alright.
nice, but I'll take a pass because it's not on my list, and my UMD is really bad.
Okay.
And Xandu already has protection from evil as a spell.
Nice.
So just one single scroll then. Got it.
Alrighty. So again, like, if no one else has anything, we're gonna, like, I heard, like, here's the first week worth of doing stuff, and this is what's going on sporadically throughout the week. There's a little bit of, like, story events that would take place that you guys would hear about in this first week, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump to that, unless somebody has something they want to do right now.
Yeah, I don't mean to be like off in the corner doing my own thing, but
But that's exactly what you're doing.
Francis would be with his family.
Okay. I would probably for the next week see if Golden, if I can find him, and if I can find him, I would see if I can lend my necromancy services to help him make the undead for his end goal.
Alright, understood. Anyone else? Going once?
Xandu's just gonna be helping out Erendil.
Understood. Okay.
I'm just making
whatever way he can.
Working out your
potions.
feelings for a week and making potions.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so in the first, like, couple of days since Qadira becomes its own independent nation, you guys get a really, like, shocking, disturbing bit of news come up from the north. In addition to, like, you guys know that, like, the elves of Kyanin have taken the Witch Bowl. They've driven Tree Razor out. We talked about all this last week, and there's something going on in Brevoy. Some princeling in Galt has set up a little kingdom in a mountain, but it's more than that, just all over the place. Taldor also has holdings, like, they don't have any holdings in, like, Kalesh, but they do have some holdings, them and Cheliax, in Arcadia, as well as in Tian Sha. It's just all over the place. Emboldened by the Cult of the Dawnflower's success in Qadira, these rebellions have sprung up all over the place. You guys are essentially the shot heard round the world. And the Empire quickly realizes how strained its resources are, because, like, they put out one fire, two more spring up, they put out two, y'all get the idea. Amidst this chaos, Cheliax throws off its contracts both to Taldor and to Asmodeus. In a very shocking bit of news,
Wait, what?
you guys come to find out that the Chelish have embraced redemption and accepted Sarenrae as, like, the patron goddess of that entire nation.
I don't fucking believe it.
Whoa, wait. What happened?
They now call themselves the Holy Chelish Empire. They declare that it's the Cult of the Dawnflower that summoned all these divs, and they must be purged from the face of Galarion for the universe to be set right. You guys knew that some Chelish officials had been cited in Opara. It goes farther than that, as Cheliax marches on the city, and the relationship that Taldor and Cheliax have flip-flops. Now, what remains of Taldor is a client state of the Holy Chelish Empire.
Wait, so they're claiming that the Cult of the Dawnflower was summoning the divs just like Taldor was before.
Correct.
Wait, so let me get this straight. So Cheliax is a Sarenrae major faith now.
That's correct.
Interesting.
At least in name.
It's
Okay.
from the reports you guys get, it appears to be true. Paladins of Sarenrae march amongst their ranks. The Hell Knights have all thrown off their Hell Knight armor in favor of armor that's emblazoned in the blue and gold of Sarenrae. Their armies march with Sarenrae's holy symbol, essentially, like, in giganticness, as think like a giant crucifix before them, and upon these crucifixes often are, like, spies from the Cult of the Dawnflower, or even, like, outright devils crucified upon these things.
So they've become the Holy Roman Empire.
More or less.
So who's leading Cheliax? And what happened to Donald's cousin? Not Donald, sorry, Lucia's cousin.
It's unknown at the moment. Presently, it was Lucia's uncle who's been the head of Cheliax, and that remains the same. That hasn't changed. You guys do know that in Taldor, a new general has been appointed over, like, all of the entire what's left of the Empire. The Holy Chelish Empire will put out the rest of the fires, and they've ordered Taldor to advance on Qadira and put you guys down once and for all. You guys are kind of close-ish to the border, but not, like, you're not really close, but there have been a lot of small skirmishes over the past week.
I'm just curious. I'm going to use the. I'm just curious. So, is my bounty removed since the change, or am I still a so-called traitor still?
You can make a call it a knowledge local.
Knowledge local.
I'm gonna guess you're especially a traitor once they find out you've got a little Cult of the Dawnflower thing on your hand.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
26.
What Van is saying is very accurate. And not only, like, they've picked the opposite deity, you're stuck with the traitors. It's they're, in addition to the fact that, like, going back to Cheliax probably spells Lucia's immediate execution, like, they're coming for you now. Not you specifically, but everybody in Qadira. And, like, if they see you, it's probably bad.
Okay, so I am guilty by association by being a traitor still. How nice.
Pretty much.
And my uncle is in charge of the Holy Cheliax Empire now.
That's right.
Okay, this is nice.
A week passes.
What is Cheliax doing with all the other people that are have risen up against Taldor?
For the most part, just trying to put them down. They're having similar problems. It's you stop one fire, two spring up, that kind of thing. But it's kind of a matter of time.
It's now Cheliax doing it instead of Taldor.
It's now like a very organized, efficient army of essentially paladins.
Okay, so
Knights.
Yeah.
Was it Francis or Dandrew that you wanted the armor item made?
I think it was Francis.
The Order of Darn. I wanted the bracers.
So who was it?
That's Francis.
Okay, I'm just going to make it for you.
Sick.
Alrighty. So we've got 3 more weeks of in-game time before the next, like, big story scripted event happens. Well, you guys would know, actually, by the time a week happens. Between Mustafa, Mercutio, Ogruz, the Tien woman who no one bothered to ask the name of because they don't speak her language for the most part, all of these other NPCs running around, you hear that there's going to be a council held in Cthulhu 3 weeks from now. Representatives from the major rebellious forces in the Empire are making their way to Cthulhu. It's going to take a month because, in addition to the fact that it's not safe to move around the Empire, winter has set in really early. That far north, there's several feet of snow on the ground. Trade has been ground to a halt. Industry has been ground to a halt. The Chelish don't seem to have a problem with it, either through magical means or divine power. They're able to move through what's essentially like 3 feet of snow with no problem, but everybody else is. So in a very scary and ironic twist of fate, it's been discovered that the fastest and safest way to traverse Galarion on foot is to go through the Darklands.
Why do you hate me so much?
Tommy, I'm just curious. So, is there a way for me to remove my bounty somehow in Cheliax? Maybe
Yes, die.
Or overthrow it, which I'd be fine with helping you do that.
Or kill all your friends.
Well, that one might be a little more difficult.
Maybe, wait, I have an idea now. I need to use the wish spell, get myself a death note, and write all the traitors' names so I can remove the bounty.
Too bad that item doesn't exist. Be sweet, though.
Well, a GM can make it if I wish it.
We'll see.
Zandu is gonna take the next few weeks to basically get some questions about what's going on with Cheliax through divination.
Okay. So I hear that Zandu wants to pass time for a month.
What happened to going to Casimir?
No, what I want to do is I want to use my divination spells.
Okay.
To get answers, so we can make plans for the upcoming month.
I see. Okay, so go ahead and we'll resolve that now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Pogue. We'll go to Casimir eventually.
All right.
We're kind of some shit happened right
Tommy, during the course of the 2 weeks, I would make additional scrolls of Break Enchantment and Grand Destiny, so I can have a better chance next time breaking the bond.
Understood.
And I be using a lot of blood money to learn more additional spells over the weeks.
Alrighty. So Zandu wants to use divination.
Yeah.
The morning before that happens, because I need to call that out more because it's still a thing. Roll percentage dice real quick.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Does that have to be secret, public?
No, it can be public. This is just to see if how lucid you are when you dream.
Tommy, I'm just kind of with the amount of blood money ink I get to spend on my spells. I have over 16,000 gold on to learn more spells.
Yeah, so I gave that to you for a reason. I know the wizard, especially the crafting wizard, needs that much access. All right,
Yeah.
that's you. Don't roll a 90 or above. You do enter the dimension of dreams. Go ahead and make a will save.
Oh man, already?
Yeah. You have a considerable
I thought
bonus.
90 or above that I get ambushed.
There's a
Darn.
well, you're right because you have mind blank. Go ahead and roll percentage dice one more time.
Okay.
You do enter the dimension of dreams. This is to see where you end up.
It's just a matter of whether or not where I end up.
Sure.
Okay.
So how many potions did you guys make and being passed around?
1 billion.
62.
All right, Xandu's fine. Xandu doesn't wake up in Lang and doesn't have to deal with the Void Weaver.
Yay.
Tommy, I'm going to roll to see if I can find Golden and help him make undead for his end goals. So
Okay.
I'm just going to roll.
Go ahead and
Do you
make that
want me-
percentage
hey,
dice.
Do you want me to help you?
Sure, why not? So,
So what can Pogue give for an aid? Give him like 20 plus 20?
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. So 64 plus a bonus. So I assume that's a success.
We
84?
gotta wait and have Van roll percentage dice too, if you would please.
What do I
Okay.
have to roll?
Just roll a d100. Okay, so it's you find him. He still has his thralls, but he doesn't like. Presently, there aren't any bodies to pull from the bone ship.
I actually have a few undead corpses from the vials I collected, so I can resurrect them with his aid.
Okay, what are they specifically? I
Oh,
forget.
it would be cave giant. It would be the cave. It would be the cave creatures and the scorpion. I think it was cave giants.
Mhm. So do you have enough hit dice to control a cave giant? They have. think
I
they have
am I am giving him the creatures to.
Oh,
to
okay,
weather.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, he takes them. He doesn't say anything to you or do anything with them immediately, but he takes the
Okay.
vials of snow.
I'm going to examine his behavior to see how appreciative of a bit.
Sure.
So that would be sense motive.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I want to see if I'm beginning to get onto his good side. 9.
9, a
Hold
total of 9.
How
You have
hey,
no
what
idea.
What does Pogue think?
Pogue thinks you should probably just leave him alone. He doesn't want to be doing this.
Wait, so helping him in raising a dead is not a good way to begin a potential romance with him then.
Correct. He's doing it because he has to, not because he wants to.
Okay, I have to find another way to romance him then.
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let's get those commune things from Xandu right quick.
Okay. First of all, Xandu is going to see what other people want to know because we have like a week before this happens, right? Or 2.
You have 3 weeks before the council.
Okay.
That's a lot of possible divination spells I can cast.
Yeah.
I have another communes, so I'll need to think 6 more questions.
Okay.
So if anybody has divination questions, Xandu is specifically about Cheliax and what they're planning on doing. Xandu, what he's wondering is if the king of Cheliax has genuinely embraced Sarenrae
Okay.
is one that he's curious about. Then, if that is the case, is the cult of the Dawnflower actually behind summoning of the div?
Okay.
If not.
Alrighty.
And
Hey, didn't the Dawnflower originally follow Sarenrae? Is that right?
That is correct.
yeah,
Okay, so
that's why he wants to know if they genuinely follow Sarenrae or if it's some kind of ploy.
that we're not really we're not with the cult of the Dawnflower. That's somebody who claims that they're cult of the Dawnflower.
Oh, that's a good question. Is there somebody else claiming to be the cult of the Dawnflower summoning div?
Well, doesn't, but doesn't Emeritus have like a magic Dawnflower Serenray sword?
Which has been very quiet, mostly because she fell asleep, I think. But
well, what did Emeritus know?
We could always ask the magic Serenray sword.
Again, Miss Morning has been quiet throughout this whole week. Almost kind of like offended quiet, I guess, at like the notion of all this.
Tommy, I'm just curious. So if I use the Grand Destiny and break enchantment, could I use that to remove what tide is on the dragons?
Again, the dragon is fine. The percentage dice resolved. The dragon's yours.
Okay, cool. Cool. I thought there was extra bit of the dragon soul left, so I thought I had to remove that.
Yeah, there was like a split second of maybe, followed by no. Alright, so I've heard 3 questions from Xandu. Well, 2 from Xandu, 1 from Pogue to make a total of 3.
Are these yes, no
the other one is if the Cult of the Dawnflower that we are with right now, if there isn't somebody else who's pretending to be the Cult of the Dawnflower doing this, and if Cheliax genuinely has embraced Serenray.
Okay. Is there a role involved for this?
Not because of the...
Because they automatically succeed, correct. Okay. Alright, so if that's all for the first casting... Yes, the Chelish have genuinely embraced Serenray. And
it was specifically has the King of Cheliax.
Yes, he has.
Genuinely embraced Serenray.
He has.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember them all. Give me the questions one at a time again, then I'll answer them.
Okay, if he has, is somebody else posing as the Cult of the Dawnflower summoning Div?
No.
Then is the Cult of the Dawnflower itself summoning Div?
No.
Is Taldor summoning Div? I
No.
guess that might be another day's question.
Yeah, I lost count, but they are not.
Okay.
Well, that's misleading. Excuse me. They have.
But they have stopped.
They
basically is what I would guess.
Pretty much, yeah. Like it's the Battle of Fort Legos where you guys had to fight the big one. That was them, but they aren't now.
Okay.
So that's one of those like we found one of those misleading questions that I need to give a little more information on.
Gotcha. Here, I'm just gonna throw the divination thing out there.
Okay.
So we can see it. Which is why I've been asking yes or no questions so I can get it as clear as possible.
I see. Okay.
Then I suppose the last question would be a little more open-ended on how peace might be made between the Cult of the Dawnflower and the reformed Cheliax.
Did
Okay.
you ask if Cheliax was actually reformed?
He did, and they are.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so Cheliax been reformed?
Been redeemed, yes.
Genuinely.
As far as making peace between them and you, it's most likely gonna take like I won't say that all of you have to die, but that's kind of the thing. Like it's already like it's come to a head, blows are gonna happen. There's nothing that's gonna prevent that. It's just a matter of like whom history ends up favoring the most.
Should have asked if that girl's really Enderling's sister.
He has another week.
Oh.
Okay,
I have another week, and I still have more days because this refreshes every day, assuming I don't get ambushed in Lane.
Yeah.
Tommy, I got more questions. So the first question: Does the Lich have any other weaknesses besides being a Lich?
That's another one that's kind of there are I've never seen so many misleading questions
Yeah,
on spells like
yeah,
these. I don't want to mislead you and say that like he's unkillable. He has like a character sheet. He is killable, but he doesn't have any like big weaknesses.
So just normal undead weaknesses, and got it.
Correct. Is there a Diabolist movement to counter the Cheliax holy change? No. Is there a person in Cheliax who can help me out to remove my traitor status? Unclear. Yeah, unclear. That's one I can answer without an explanation. If I convert to Saren Race Faith, would my traitor status be removed? No. Does the Rat Lich have class levels being a cleric? That's meta, as all get out, but yes. Okay, he has cleric levels and wizard levels. Congratulations, Donald.
Okay, I think I know what levels he have now. Commune is such a useful spell.
It's definitely a thing.
As is divination.
Mm-hmm.
So you said either way it's going to come to blows, but does that mean that there is no chance for a reconciliation even after blows have been made?
Probably.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Pogue wants to find out how the change in government and there's a movement in Taldor to throw off. Okay.
Pogue's gonna do his own.
He's gonna cast commune with the people.
That right, sort of one at a time.
Alrighty. They
or not, you know.
People that have come from Taldor to here are mostly like they're dissenters who have joined the cult of the Dawnflower. They, by and large, don't really care who's in charge or what's going on. They still want to overthrow them. They want
to overthrow Taldor?
They want to the same thing you guys want, to free systematically all of Avistan from their rule. As far as a movement in Taldor to throw off Chelish rulership, most likely, it's still pretty new, and the Empire doesn't have much of a footing to do so at the moment, but certainly one imagines.
Right. So, have we figured out how this happened, or no?
It just happened.
Okay, so we haven't heard the rumors yet, other than been able to piece it together. Other than we saw a Chelish guy taken off right before we killed the Kadiran guy last session.
Correct.
All right.
I wonder if there's a way to prove that the Cult of the Dawnflower was not summoning Div, or prove that somebody else was at minimum.
It's a thought.
Well, I still think that if we cause chaos in Taldor and make our way to Opara, we're going to find some answers along the way. Because we know that they were creating divs. We just saw...
we could find answers there, possibly.
Yeah. And Casimir, remember, is a big shipping place, too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of information there.
But there's not a lot of shipping going on right now because north of here is pretty much a whiteout.
I am very curious as to how a change in how this major change has affected Xandu's notoriety and Cheliax.
Okay.
That might be the next day's divination spell.
Alrighty.
Should that come to pass.
Okay.
The next series of commune question we have next week, or in game, it would be: does, with the change in power, have their opinion of Lucia changed or not?
Okay, and this question is coming down next week from Commune, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to pass another week, guys?
I only have to pass another day to do some more spells.
That is very true.
So.
Yeah.
Paul doesn't know why we're sitting around waiting, but other than the fact that you told us that the next plot point comes in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to where I thought the next place to go was, and now I guess we can sit and wait. But
you guys are welcome to leave whenever.
Yeah. I'm thinking we should probably go to Casimir. We've been in one place too long.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Either they're going to come to us or we go to them. We might as well move.
Yeah, we might as well.
ready to leave.
Yeah, we might as well be on the offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Druid just doesn't want to be here anymore.
Druids don't do dick diddly for divination magic, so I can't help.
So, I suppose Zandu is just next day, probably early in the morning. Zandu will cast a few spells because we're not leaving like middle of the day. I don't think.
Right.
Like right now.
Mm-hmm.
And get a few more questions out of it. But Zandu is down to go to not Kathir, that's where we are.
Correct.
Casimir. They sound so alike.
They do. A lot of things in Pathfinder sound really, really close to one another.
Basically, how safe going to Casimir would be.
Okay.
As far as like him being spotted and having to fight his way through town, or if it could be done stealthily. So,
Okay.
One way we can probably get into Casimir is I can potentially fly all of us close to Casimir, and then through pole contacts we can have a base of operation of some kind in the city there.
Okay. So the dragon is a skeleton, correct?
Mechanically he is, but I usually spell recompose corpse, so he have a look of a black dragon.
Okay. Let me read that.
because that's less scary.
Yeah. Let me see if restore corpse is. Okay, so what that does is it's not a skeleton now it's a zombie.
Yeah, mechanically it's a undead, but appearance-wise it's just a black dragon.
Okay,
looks.
so mechanically it is a zombie because you've put.
Yeah, it is a sentient undead skeleton. I did not went with zombie because there are too many drawbacks being a zombie.
See, the thing is I'm reading restore. You cast restore corpse, is that right?
You have two options.
Yeah, it
and
is.
restore corpse reads, you grow flesh on a decomposed or skeletonized corpse of a medium or smaller creature. Oh, well, okay, it didn't work in the first place. Because it's not a medium or smaller creature, you have a skeleton.
Okay.
Hey, the good news is you can say it's any color dragon you want.
I mean, the thing about the dragons in Pathfinder, like, it has... You could break off the horns, I guess, that kind of, like, hang down like some weird Hell Knight helmet is, like, what black dragons have.
Yeah,
do they retain that in Pathfinder?
Stuff on to make it to like try and convince people it's the skeleton of a metallic dragon.
Yeah, you need to put some weird like mohawk frill across its head for it to be a silver dragon.
I'm not sure you want to be walking around saying, "Hey, look at this silver dragon skeleton." Like, well, how'd you get it?
Now, people are still uncomfortable with it. Matter of fact, like over the past week and a half-ish, the Cult of the Dawnflower is aware there's a black dragon skeleton walking around. They're okay with it because they have to be, because you've removed an evil thing from the bone ship, but no one's comfortable.
Yep. Yeah,
but it's it has its sentience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So just for personality-wise, it just go with a guard dog hound personality that serves Lucia loyally.
Understood. Also, Let me read. Don't let me interrupt anybody. Like, if you guys have things you want to do.
Gentle.
Not because it wants to guard her, but because it has to.
Because it's bound.
Yes.
That's gonna.
Can what bound it? Excuse, like to bring me up to speed.
It would be. I would imagine when the deal went off between me and the contract devil, there would be a contract signed that effectively bound the soul to serve me lordly.
Okay, that's fine. I just need to read. It's a skeleton.
Yes. So I guess I have a metallic, ish.
No, you have a black dragon, and they are very aware it's a black dragon.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Finally, the game have it in its name. Have a black dragon, and it's a black dragon.
It's very important. But more importantly, what I'm trying to find is Oh, I can't. I'm pretty sure it definitely, if it's a skeleton, it cannot fly. Also, it has.
I with the sorcerer template went with.
Oh, yes. So it can cast fly on itself. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I took this into consideration when I was making it.
Okay, and it's also it's a large creature, so it can carry 2 people.
Okay. If we want to wait a bit more, I can make a scroll of greater teleport.
You can't teleport there.
We can't do that. We already tried that.
No?
Yeah, you can't teleport into the Empire.
We turned into Swiss cheese.
Okay, what about any borders that the red line is not at?
So while everybody was Tommy, while everybody was divining and communing and stuff like that, did Pogue find any passage on a boat or anybody willing to take him up to Casimir or Ridenport?
I will roll percentage dice. Is what we'll do. You find, like, you run into the drunken kitsune you guys met in Absalom, and amidst a bunch of you figure out that she's willing to do it. It's extremely dangerous to do so, partially because, like,
she is.
Yeah, that too. Partially because you go a little too far, north, and the sea is frozen. And most of, like, the Imperial ships essentially have like a bulldozer scoop with a fire enchantment on the front of their ships to cut through it. Yeah. Also, like, there are people at the docks that have true seeing and have all these other means of, like, detecting you guys. So it's, if you get there...
At Ridenport, though? Or at Casimir?
I need to remember where Ridenport is.
Ridenport is further south, and it's sort of the smugglers type thing.
All right, let me...
Not really smugglers, that's not quite fair, but...
I understand. I'm going to crack open my Taldor book. Taldor, the First Empire. I'm going to look at that map. On that
there
book.
You go.
I need to be 100% sure wure that is.
And yeah, it's
I see it. Yeah, that's still pretty close. That's where's the compass, or not the compass, the scale? I can't find the scale. It's pretty close. It's within probably like 100 miles. And again, like, just because the water is frozen doesn't mean the Imperial Navy is not out there. You rationalize out that if you well and truly want to go to Casimir, the safest way to do so, and it's going to be a long walk, but the safest way to do so is to traverse the Darklands.
Where are the Darklands?
That's the Underdark in Pathfinder.
Underneath us?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Far down to Goblin Town, as it were.
Yeah.
Going into the Underdark, I definitely think that is probably the best route to go.
A small group like you guys might pass unnoticed, but
I'm really not excited about going down into the Underdark, but given that at least if we go down there, everyone who tries to murder us will be trying to do it for honest reasons and not for bullshit.
He makes a point. It'll probably also, it's about 500 miles from Cthulhu to Casimir. You might make okay time through the Darklands. It depends. Like, it's a little less walking in a straight line and a little more navigating chasms and up and down walls and through crevasses.
I have a idea. Adam character, is he elsewhere or is he in camp?
He is far away unless Adam brings Kazaha back.
Oh, what a shame.
And
I
if he was here
thinking-
now, this part of the game would be a lot easier.
If he was in the camp, my plan was to mind link with them, get a map of the Underdark so we know where we're going, so we can get closer to the port area. So we are effectively skipping what would be like 2/3 of the actual exploration of the Underdark.
But that's still 500 miles on foot. And again, it's like, there's 6 of you and a dragon. There's 6 of you and a dragon, and a Leshy. You can probably make it through unnoticed, probably, but the chance exists that you don't, and the chance exists that, like, the consequences could be dire, but they would be less dire than, like, running headlong into the Imperial fleet.
Are there any guides or anything?
Not in Cthir.
Okay.
So what about
It's possible we could find someone, like contact someone in the Underdark and bribe the shit out of them.
That is indeed possible.
so
I feel like
we
we just
supposed
swim
to
underneath
go-
the ice.
We do have the gold.
That is true.
So we were supposed to go somewhere to meet in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
And if we go through the Underdark and all the way up to Casimir, there's no way we'll make that meeting.
That is probably true. You guys, it's about 500 miles. You guys will travel. Oh, I forget what overland travel is for. Not like horses. 16 miles.
I have a idea. So, how much does everyone weigh together? I'm thinking we could potentially fly across Taldor's border.
You will be shot down.
Okay. What about an area that doesn't have a lot of archers?
Non-existent. It's like I said, there are actively skirmishes on the border right now.
Okay. Oh, that's a shame. I was trying to have us be flying quite stealthy in like a stealthy plane to get to the other side, and then move across the border to where we need to be.
I mean,
that way. But
that carpet of flying is pretty big. You could probably do it, but like, it's the odds of you being detected are pretty high, and then you have to deal with whatever comes.
Yeah. So if the next day shows up, Xandu does have a few more questions for divination.
Would we like to pass to the next day, guys?
Yep.
Might as well.
Roll the percentage dice, Xandu.
All right, 2 sets or just 1?
Just the one for now.
I found a.
Now roll the next one, please.
7.
I think I found a solution with the withered spell. Globe invisible field. If we fly on the magic carpet, we can fly in the air.
And be invisible?
Yes.
And then someone with true seeing will detect you. Like, you know they are there, they will find you.
Okay, what about if we fly up high in the sky outside of most creatures' range?
Then
Well,
you'll be
Xandu
worried about
has a permanent
suffocation.
mind blank. If he is running the carpet, he is he's immune to divination unless somebody uses wish to get rid of it.
Xandu would be fine. Yeah, Xandu could go on a magic carpet ride and make it. It's the rest of you.
Is it just 10,000 to get something permanent?
In this game, it's just for Xandu because he asked for it for his level 8, which sucks. But we can't do that every game. Also, make a will save, Colin.
Make a will save.
You roll bad, you end up in the Void Weaver's clutches. And I need to get her stats.
Oh, are you gonna die in your sleep? Is that what's?
I hope not.
I suppose we go for the Underdark.
Yeah, Underdark. 2 of my plans done anything to work, but I thought through them so well.
That's how it is,
If I
man.
remember right, it is mind affecting, so that'd be a
It
20.
is. I'm just trying to find. This is. I
Well, if
haven't
you run
used
into
that.
any chasms or something, we can at least fly over the chasms.
That is true. It would be a little easier to get over. Like, it'll cut some of the time down. Where is my... I think you pass. I'm pretty sure you pass. I just need to see. Yeah, you pass. Okay. Again, you wiggle out of the Great Old One's clutches, and the next divination can resolve.
All right. So Let's see. We had questions about. Man, now the next divination's going on. Give me a minute.
Okay, how about a yes or no question about potential allies in the new Cheliax Empire about restoring or having an ally of some kind.
Oh, he was going to ask about first things first. Where that probably wouldn't work if we could prove it, because they'd still keep fighting anyways. The question is, does Cheliax genuinely believe, or does the king of Cheliax genuinely believe that the cult of the Dawnflower is the one who's been summoning Div?
Okay. No.
Okay. So there are other reasons I can deduce that he wants to stop the cult of the Dawnflower.
Yeah, you probably could.
Because we're gonna kick his butt.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Fear the halfling.
Another question he has is, are there active rebellions against the reformed Cheliax Empire in Varizia? This is more a personal question.
Yes.
Wonderful. I suppose Xandu would prefer to go to the meeting rather than make his way there. He will sort of communicate that, you know, they don't really believe that we have been summoning divs. They're just using it as an excuse, essentially, to conquer. You would relay that to the party.
So, with Lucia being a traitor there and probably be killed or captured on site, if go to the meeting, she cannot go there, even with magic to change her appearance.
Yeah, the meeting is like, what that is there are a bunch of rebellious factions that are like actively making their way through the Darklands to Cthulhu. Turns out there's actually, I don't think this exists actually in Pathfinder, but in this game, damn it, there's a gateway is the wrong word, but there's a passage to the Darklands in the palace.
Is anybody coming from Taldor?
You're not sure?
Through Taldor?
Well, no, you guys would be sure. Roll me a d6, man, if you would.
Sure.
I'm going to. Is it just a general roll?
Yes.
Okay, I have a spell called Bit of Luck. So add a 1d8 on top of that roll.
Sure, I'll let that resolve. Let's really make me jump through some improv hoops. Okay, yeah, roll a d8.
Fighters, they are fighters.
So on a 1 to 6, I get 11.
11. All right, so now I need to pull 11 factions out of my butt for who's coming to Cthulhu. I have like 4 prepared.
Okay.
First things first. Whoever's breathing into their mic, please control yourself. First things first. Francis's master, as well as most of the Order of the Leaf, are making their way through the Darklands right now. They will probably arrive first because they have there's less of them than people that are bringing whole regiments through the Darklands, and it's advised to do that because bad stuff will happen. People are going to definitely casualties will take place. Oh, now I need 10 more. I could do 5. I have 5.
Somebody from Casimir.
Find someone from Casimir.
How about to help reduce casualties, we go into Darkland to help help them out.
How about let me finish? That would be great. Okay, so also there's a faction of elves that have driven Tree Razor, who's the demon lord who's lived in the southern elf town, essentially, for a long time. He's been driven out, and these elves are making their way towards Cthulhu. They're bringing a pretty big, almost show of force bodyguard along with them. It's a brand new, nobody's heard of the elves really returning to Galarion from the Iodara, but they're here and they're coming in force. Also, there is Joe's listening. I'll go ahead and tip it off. The Campaniole Duchy will be making an appearance.
Woo!
Joe can probably explain that a little better than me while I quickly put everything else together.
Joe, explain.
Campaniole Duchy is kind of a shadow kingdom in Galt. Kind of the reason why Galt was a center of culture was because of them, and they're kind of like a very rare race of rat-like. Don't call them rats because they'll fucking stab you in the eyeball, but they're very aristocratic. They're quintessential French, and they are, I guess they're making their way here.
In addition, from all across the way in Tien Sha, it's kind of like the Green Faith. There's a religion known as Tamashigo, which is you can equate it to Shinto on planet Earth. It's like the Green Faith, but with kami and spirits and stuff. They have a presence coming as well. A warlord from Iobaria has present day. To your immediate east, the Padishah Empire of Kalesh doesn't fight their wars with soldiers, they fight it with gold. That's why Taldor hasn't expanded east, is because they've been bought off.
Oktar's coming?
Not quite Oktar. I didn't take Oktar too. People don't know who, but a group of centaurs has come from Iobaria raiding into the northern regions of the Empire. They've heard about what's going on in Qadira. They'd like to help. Yes, there's a faction from Casimir coming. I don't have it prepped, but they will be there. You don't know who. Somebody, though. Oh, what else? Where can I'm going to just look through my tokens, is what I'm doing.
We just found our way to Casimir, then.
So, are there any Cheliax factions coming or no?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
You also know there are, I don't mean to contradict myself, but I'm going to kind of contradict myself. So Cheliax has a humongous presence, more so than Taldor, more so than anybody else, in the distant continent of Arcadia, which for those of us not in the know, that's the New World. Imagine pretty much the entire eastern seaboard is a giant slave colony. They've, all the trees have been clear cut down. It's the indigenous tribes that live there that worship the spirits of the land have by and large been taken as warrior slaves. Some of them have broken free and are coming to make their case to the Cult of the Dawnflower for help. There's more. There's definitely more. Okay.
You said that there are factions there that are fighting, at least. There
are some Varisians coming for sure, yes.
Rebel fighters from Irison, led by a strange masked warrior.
I had a couple more. I'm just flipping through my tokens.
Do I know specifically if there are any elves coming from Varisia?
You don't.
Too bad. I can divine that, though.
You can. Yeah, I guess you might know specifically. Also, there's amidst all the snow and stuff, as all this is going on, as you're getting this information, it's pretty much across all the faiths on Galarion. It's become canon that the world is coming to an end. The Ulthen believe it's Ragnarok. The Zol is probably just running around, that little kobold you guys found back in the days. Hey, fight! But somehow he's picked up a little pendant of the draconic god Apsu. And that faith believes that Apsu and Apsu's son Dahak will eventually come to blows, the god of metallic dragons versus the god of the chromatic dragons, for one big final battle in Galarion. They believe that that is coming. In addition to that, there is there's a place in central Casmaron that is known as the Pit of Gormuz. some members of, you probably actually hear a lot of this because you're associating with the Cult of the Dawnflower. Most of them believe that's where Rovagug is imprisoned, and there have been tremors coming from the Pit of Gormuz pretty much since, like, Cthir fell. For further, like, knowledge on that, the Pit of Gormuz is where, like, the Tarask has come from there. All of, like, the big, bad, scary destruction monsters essentially are from there. And that place has tremors now.
Godzilla.
No, Godzilla is a kaiju, and he has entirely different stats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Pit of Gormuz is more like Rovagug's butthole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
That's where, like, mechanically, that's where the Tarask is from. Well, that's not mechanically, that's lore.
Rovagug's butthole.
Rovagug's butthole. Oh, what else can I give you? I'll go ahead and I'll say that there's a faction from the Darklands coming. It's very secretive, very shadowy. No one's really talking about it. But, like, they know people are moving through the Darklands. They at least want to know what's going on. Oh, what else?
I feel like they would have to, since there's suddenly a whole crapload of them.
Yeah, most of these factions that I'm talking about are coming in the, like, 500s. Because, like, you're going to turn the corner and here's, like, 17 Gug are going to descend upon you. Or these Drugar are going to come take you slaves and that kind of thing, and you have to be protected.
Mm-hmm. No one wants to get volleyballed, man.
Precisely. And you guys can learn more about that on our, what CRs are Gug 12? Our CR 11 and 12 around the hearth. Boom.
Plug.
You know, Xandu's gonna ask his divination if the Theers are gonna be there.
Okay. So let's... I don't think I said 11. I will make sure there are 11 factions present when we do that. But let's resolve the next divination.
The next one?
Yeah, whatever one happens today.
Okay. So there's people from Varisia coming, you said, through the divination before.
Yes.
Out of those, will the Theers be there?
They will not.
Ah, too bad. Then I think that's really about it. That's really all the questions Xandu can think of, unless somebody else wants him to ask something.
Alrighty. Well, does anyone else have anything they want to do?
I'm curious. So during this week, does anyone else want me to make any additional magic item, or even scrolls that you could potentially use that is on the Withered's spell list?
Nope. I gave you all of my money.
Xandu's gonna buy some Healy potions because that's something I always forget to do as a player.
It's quite important.
Yeah, you guys were making potions, right? How many did we make?
I made 4 of Cure Light and 2 of Cure Medium, moderate.
For each of us?
I can, yeah.
Okay, how much?
1 second. Let me check the actual amount.
I think he was making them at his caster level. That's why they were so expensive, man.
Yeah.
If I remember, to make potions, it's 25 plus your caster level
Times
your caster level times the spell level.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when it comes to item making, it's better for certain classes compared to other classes.
Yeah, for sure. You need a witch.
Actually, I think it's
saying
50 times your caster level times the level of the spell. 25 is for scrolls.
So are we better off just buying potions instead of making them?
Because they'll be better potions.
Yeah, because the potions he makes are going to be like 1d8 plus 5 instead of 1d8 plus 1 or 2d8 plus.
Oh, okay.
It would be based upon what type of potion. If it's better to pay more or just pay the price outright for the potion.
So
it sort of depends on if you're in combat when you're drinking it.
Mm.
I can make Cure Moderate Wounds for 200. It costs 300, and I can make them at my level. So.
Okay. Okay. I need a Cure Moderate Wound potion, though I'm just going to give you the gold to make it.
You said you can make them for
Or
200?
no, 150. I can make them for 150 because I made them in crafting.
Oh,
contest.
150 to make
so
it?
if you give me, it's 2 hours, I think, for every. So it's 4 hours for every level.
All right. So can I get 4 of them?
Yeah, we have weeks. You can get as many as you need. I just need I just need time to craft them.
Oh, okay.
So it's cure moderate wound. That's 2d8 plus. What is your?
Plus his caster level with a max of like 10.
Level is my entire spell. There's my entire class, so or entire level. Hit dice.
So 2d8 plus 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So I can do. Okay, let me find. How much? I need to find the amount of time it takes me to do stuff.
Do anyone want me to make any kind of alchemical items for the party?
Well, I can do.
Well, you'd be doing the same thing, right?
Yes, I can make most non-alchemist or potion items via craft alchemy.
So if we're doing potions for of cure moderate for 150,
Yes.
Xandu will take 10.
Yeah, I will too.
I'm okay for potion. I have a bunch of scrolled and 10 healing potions on me.
Okay.
Xandu has squat healy potions. So having 10 would be nice.
What the hell?
How much for 10?
1,500.
Of the mod or the light?
The moderate.
Plus the amount of
sure,
hours. I have to
I'll
work
get in on that.
Well, we'll see how many hours I find.
So just to get this.
Can you make the same?
What?
Can you do the same? Can Donald do the same or no? Or Lucia with craft?
No, I cannot make healing potions or any magical potion. It just any alchemist magic potions I can make effectively, as long as it's not.
In addition to that, Erendil would give crafting prices to Xandu.
But only to Xandu.
But only to Xandu.
Xandu will take advantage of that because he really wants to give Erendil business so that he has funds to help with what's going on with Emmy.
Alrighty. So let's, real quick. You were trying to buy 10.
Wait, what's Erendil's caster level?
I won't say. Lots.
Is it high enough to get the full effect for a cure mod?
Yes. Yeah.
Tommy, so let me get this straight. So the meeting is happening at the end of the month, am I correct?
That's right, yeah. And it'll happen here in Cthulhu.
Okay, so I'm going to use the 2 other communes I have left to think of 12 more questions to help Mufasa and his group out to get yes or no answers to know more about the rat lich.
Dang, if he's getting full, well, I have to pay per caster level as well, right?
You do, but there's he's not like undercasting them, but if it's cure moderate that you're buying, it'll cap at caster level 10th.
Okay, is it possible for me to convince Mufasa if I'm going to lend my divination services to him if he can remove the geese? Is that possible to set up a deal like that?
It's entirely possible. Again, it's like if you want to pop the other 12, that's fine, but that means we're waiting a month or waiting 2 weeks, and I think we're going to hit the Darklands at some point. I think.
I didn't use the 1 commune yet, and then the last week I haven't used the commune yet, so...
Okay.
So I'm going to see if I can convince Mufasa to get rid of the geese so I can help him kill the rat lich. He probably will say no. No, me. 27. So is that a yes or no?
Which geese specifically?
The bond between me and the lich.
He'll do it if you convert to his religion.
Nope.
Then he won't help you.
Okay.
Congratulations on being the last Chelish person still loyal to Asmodeus.
Sorry. Crossing a devil is bad. You don't want to do that.
Your whole family just did it, and they seem to be fine.
I am not my family, and I don't want to get a devil's wrath.
So you'll cross a lich, but not a devil.
It takes me 2.5. It takes me 2 hours for every potion less than 250 gold pieces.
A lich is something. A lich is something that with enough aid I can kill. Devils, that's another level altogether.
I mean,
So
whether or not they have to come out of hell to deal with it.
yeah, I don't want to deal with forces of hell. A lich is something I can potentially deal with enough help. Oh, does Mufasa accept my aid using divination purposes, or?
Yeah, he'll accept that. He's been accepting all of your evil help for the whole run of the campaign. Basically, he'll accept that.
Okay, so to improve my bonds with him, I'm going to have him and me think of 12 yes or no questions to get answers how to kill the rat lich effectively.
Okay, make another diplomacy check.
I'm trying to be nice to him, and he's not giving me much help. I'm trying to be reasonable, but nope. He still have a stick against me.
This is what happens when you work with religious zealots of the opposed faith to you. And the 13 on a diplomacy check is not enough. You ask him, and he just kind of and fire teleports away.
So Pogating probably wouldn't help either, right?
You can try.
Not with the 13.
Yeah.
I'm going to use one of my other spells, Bit of Luck. So 1d8 on top of that.
Sure.
15. Nope.
Not at all.
This is why I do not like religious characters in game for Lucia. I mean, she had to deal with Asmodeanites for a living.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the max I can afford from Irendil would be 6 potions.
Okay, he will whip them up.
All right, perfect. And you said that caps at 10th, right?
Mm-hmm. He's essentially undercasting because you would get no benefit from a Cure Moderate at his caster level because it doesn't go past 10th.
I would get no benefit from it?
Because, okay, so if a caster who's level 15, for example, say cast Cure Moderate Wounds, it's 2d8 plus maximum of 10th.
I thought Cure Moderate was maximum of plus 30.
Is it? I don't think it is.
Yeah.
What? No, it's not. It's plus 10. I just looked at it.
Yeah.
I don't know where you got that idea from.
It's a good idea, though.
Then D20 is way off.
Were you looking at, the mythic one?
Oh, I was looking at mass, that's why.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that explains it.
How would you even get that?
You can't, because potions can only go up to level 3 spells.
No, I mean a level 30 cast level.
Well, this is a powerful game.
It's a powerful game.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen what have you seen Poke's sneak bonus? Come on.
Well, that's only the beginning.
Yeah.
I know, right?
At some point, you got to shell out for the shadow enchantment because it stacks with everything you do, and the regular shadow is a +5 and greater shadow is a +15. Just for
he had
fun.
a +86 sneak.
Oh yeah, it gets real dumb real quick.
And that was I think that was just if he was moving. He had 106 if he was standing still.
Oh my god.
It's very, very easy to abuse stealth in Pathfinder. I will say, unless you have hide in plain sight and you want to just traipse out into a city street and just, I'm hiding! It won't, well, if you're invisible, it will resolve. But just you can't see me, you can't John Cena them.
Or, well, you can do the 2-8 check.
You really don't see me. Look the other way.
John Cott stuck around.
Yeah.
Not see Grog!
I forgot about that.
You do not see me, I'll tear your eyes out!
Alright.
I'm gonna have a fun week trying to figure out 20,000 gold when it comes to withered spells. Wizards, they're a fun homework class.
Oh yeah, like the homeworkiest stuff, with the exception of like brawlers.
So, who's buying potions from Enderley?
Pokemon's 10.
So that's 1,500 in 10 hours. And I don't see a penny of that. I literally just use it to buy the things I need to make it for.
Yes.
Think of the good
That's a lot.
I appreciate it.
Think of the good things you're doing for the party. You're helping us survive.
No, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just pointing out the fact that Arundel's probably skimming off the top.
He's not.
He's not? Well,
No.
what a bitch then.
Not from Xandu. Well, he skimmed off the top when Xandu voluntarily allowed him to do so.
Does anyone else?
Yeah, but that's... Xandu's definitely saying, like, oh, just for getting it done so fast, but in reality he's doing it because he wants to support him trying to figure out, like, how to stop the end of the world.
That's
And
relevant, yeah, for sure.
Help Emmy. But so he's just not saying it, but that's definitely his motive. And I'm sure Arundel, with his crazy high level, would have a sense of motive where he could figure that out.
His janky wizard eyes.
His janky alchemist eyes could definitely figure it out, yeah.
Quick question. I have another week of downtime. So does anyone else want any other magic items made?
It'll be a pass for me.
What about
Does anyone else order?
What about Sarah? Does she want any magic items made?
I'm not sure if she has her headphones on, but I think she passed out.
Okay.
I'll take a hey. If you want to put a +2 on my bow, that would be awesome.
Okay, sure. I would do that. Just takes the money off of your character sheet.
Oh, what did we say? That was 4,000 again.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So that would be 4 days. So yep,
I will.
it would be made in 4 days.
I
Cool.
will get down on those potions Enderling was making though before we get out of here.
There we are. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here asking over and over again. I'm like, I swear I heard someone else say they wanted something.
Then that's
Okay, so
1,500.
1,500, and then that's 20 hours of work for me. So it'll be 2.5 days for Van, and then it'll be basically 3 days for you, essentially. The other half of the day. Because I can work 24 hours a day. Well, not 24 hours a day. 24 hours over a period of 3 days, and it requires 2 hours for every 250 gold, or a potion less than 250 gold is 2 hours of work. So that's 10. That's 20 hours for every one, or 20 hours for every one order of 10.
A mouthful.
So like I said, yeah. 2.5 days essentially for everyone, or not for everyone, but for 2.5 days per one person's order. It's 5 days of work so far. And this is Enderly just slaving over everything and taking breaks every once in a while.
During the last 3 days, I'm going to make myself a scroll of a bit of luck. So when the next time I'm going to try to break I cannot speak today. When I break the rat lich bond, I'm going to get a massive bonus. But it does cost me a pretty penny to make this scroll at a higher level.
Is there also a check involved?
Yeah, I believe so, but I should easily beat the DC. So, yeah, I beat the DC.
Okay.
So that's another 3d8 on top of my roll.
I'm
Alrighty.
assuming 5 days pass and everyone who asked has 10 extra potions of cure moderate wounds, 2d8 plus 8.
Excellent, perfect. Let's get into a cave.
Yeah. Now,
Yes.
can you make a scroll at a higher caster level than your own?
Yes.
No, I don't think you can.
I don't think you
No?
can.
It's the same way for brew potion.
Nope.
So,
Oh, I thought I could.
yeah.
Okay.
No,
my-
you can cast scrolls that are
Yeah.
higher than you can normally cast, but you can't make scrolls.
Oh,
it wouldn't make
okay.
any sense for you to be like, I will channel everything into this, and
Okay.
it would be better than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
It is my child, my progeny,
Okay.
my magnum opus.
Okay.
My wish.
Okay. My mistakes. I thought I could.
That's all good. Alrighty, so 5 days pass is what I'm hearing. Do you guys have anything else you want to do before we go fight some stuff in the Darklands?
Well, I thought we were having a meeting here first.
Do we want to wait for that to happen?
Xandu does. I don't know about anybody else.
The way Plug figures it is that,
Well, will somebody really quickly, will someone make a knowledge geography that I never ask for, but go ahead and if someone would.
I will do that, and I will use my bit of luck spell
I'm
bonus.
supposedly really good at this.
Yeah, it looks like it.
32 total.
So you guys would travel 16 miles in a day, is that correct? That's how far...
Yeah.
Alrighty.
20, pretty much.
Alright, so it would take you guys a little over 31 days going through the Darklands from Kathir to Casimir. That's assuming, and like having the zombie that can fly and having the carpet of flying that can obviously fly will make things easier, but there's still matters of traversing it and whether or not like you should get ambushed or any of the myriad things that can happen down there. There's also probably like a day's travel down and then a day's travel up.
so I figure we're going to wait for the Casimir people to show up out of the Darklands and then ask them to take us back.
Okay.
Hmm.
You can do
That's what
that.
I'm thinking, now that I hear that. Right?
That's a good idea.
You guys would certainly, like, if you left today, you'd run into them. You might run into everybody. It depends on routes that people take.
Enderling's secretly waiting. He doesn't know it yet, but he is.
Enderling doesn't know he's waiting?
Enderling doesn't know that a legacy character from another game that Joe played in is going to show up.
Tommy, this is metagaming question, but I'm just curious. So, does the Ratledge have any prestige classes? I'm just figuring out in game what he is.
I will not answer that, and I will not answer questions like that with divination and stuff because that's not for metagame questions.
Okay, what a shame.
He might.
Okay, I see how my assumption of what he is and what he's not.
Fair
You
enough.
have to be careful because as soon as you assume somebody is something,
It makes
the
an ass
GM
out of
is
you and
gonna
me.
is going to make a class that you've never heard of. And-
Suddenly he's like a blood hunter.
Right.
True,
It's gonna
true.
be- and it's going to be a homebrew that is exactly the opposite of what you were planning for. So
Yeah, he's a cleric of Saren right now too.
yeah. Don't let it
Yes,
too much.
yes. The deity is converting everyone except for Lucia.
He's a ranger who chose human, and human.
Human, trollkin, halfling, and leshies.
And
No, not my boy.
Why is it got to be Leshies? It's always Leshies.
Because rangers are only good if the GM has control of them.
Right. Smashing pumpkins.
Well, I won't go that
What?
far. I feel like a ranger and rune lords could do just fine, but that's neither here nor there.
All right. So are we hanging out? I mean,
Yes. Why?
it's a real reason for us to go down and risk our skin.
Yeah, I suppose
Unless we're
Xandu is
bored.
curious as to how he might have to. Well, if he would have to disguise himself going in there, if they would instantly recognize him in.
In Cheliax or in Casimir.
In Casimir, yes.
That's your trait or drawback, which works both in this campaign as a trait and drawback. Yeah, they'll recognize you.
Yeah, the question is, would they care anymore?
Oh, then but
The conversion.
Mm.
I mean, that's really up to your discretion, I feel.
Well, I have no idea because when Xandu was fighting, they were
They were Asmodean.
They were Asmodean, and he was fighting devils, or helping fight devils with his divination, and the like. So it's really a matter of whether or not the war crimes are considered still war crimes with the conversion.
Well, I mean, that's a perfectly good subject for divination.
Yes, it is.
Is that what we'd like to do?
I still have another one for today.
Okay. So let's get all the questions now then, if we could.
That's his last question. Is
it still bad to be the seer of Varisia in the Holy Chelish Empire?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh. Yeah.
So Xandu's gonna have to find a way to disguise himself. I mean, I have disguise self, but
that's only as good as a
lasts
true
for so
seeing.
long. It's only as good as...
Oh, your mind blanks. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, just put on a fucking clown nose.
Big mustache.
Tommy.
Some retro mark glasses.
I have a idea. If I need to disguise myself, would the spell assume appearance work to bypass the true sight and anything that sees illusions?
I assume no.
Okay.
To be frank, I'm not familiar with the spell.
Yeah,
the spell functions similarly to alter self. Yeah, true seeing would beat it.
Okay, that's a shame.
Now, I guess to go a little farther with that, like, not every grunt in the Holy Chelish Empire has true seeing, but, like, Heck Knights is probably going to stick over the course of this game. the Heck Knights will all be able to sniff you out.
Okay.
You darned fibber.
We're gonna get darned so hard.
Okay, so if I do somehow come across a spell, polymorph any object, would that change my appearance to bypass all illusion sites?
I'm looking. Hang on.
Now, if you actually wear a disguise,
honestly, wearing the disguise is probably the better idea.
Right, true sight doesn't go through it. I mean, if we just dress you like a tramp and you bend over and that kind of thing, and
if I do try to disguise myself, it's going to be pretty bad.
Maybe you guys need to break out that circus idea.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Traveling circus in the Underdark.
Yeah, you guys will find plenty of things to pick up for your exhibits.
We've got a drider. Don't touch her.
Yeah, it'd be the freak show, the last Chelish nobility that worships Asmodeus.
Oh,
whoa!
I was thinking polymorph. I could transform myself into another creature, so I don't look.
True seeing allows you to see the true form of polymorphed, changed, or transmuted things. It would sniff you out.
So maybe if somebody gave you a tonic so that you could grow a beard.
A belt of dwarvenkind. There you go.
Boom.
There you go.
Okay, so what about, having a curse, one of my favorite curse items made, that would not work. Because I was thinking of making the belt of girder change, which was one
of my
favorite
gender
curse
change?
item.
The girdle of gender change.
Girdle of gender change, but that wouldn't work either.
Probably not.
I'm kind of disappointed that I spent all my money on potions already, because a hat of disguise would be perfect for Xandu if we're going there.
Yeah, that is very true.
People would see through it. Right?
But not him, because Xandu has a permanent mind blank, so he cheats true seeing.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I spent...
You blew it all on potions.
Because I didn't cross my mind. It didn't cross the Seer of Varisia's mind, unfortunately.
Don't figure.
Yeah, I don't have enough money for a hat of greater disguise or a hat of greater disguise yet. I mean,
how much is it?
Oh, hat of greater disguise. It's 6,000 gold to make.
But a regular hat of disguise is only 900 to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just that regular hat of disguise is just like a permanent alter self, isn't that right? Yeah.
It's permanent disguise self for a regular.
Oh, I see. That's still real good.
That's as good as the spell that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'll
a 1% bonus on disguise.
I'll lend you $900 for it. 900 gold.
Wait, I have the gold, so I'm going to make it had a disguise.
Alrighty, make that check.
For Lucia or for Xandu?
It will only be good for Xandu. Well, that's not true. It will be the most good for Xandu, and
Okay,
it does succeed.
So you want one made as well?
Pogue is offering to pay for it, and I feel like usually he offers better deals than Lucia does.
I mean, it's literally the same price. I don't think.
No, I pay for the materials for Lucia to make it. She's not. So I'm
that
loaning
makes
you
sense.
the money. So
Okay.
If Lucy is skimming off the top on her item crafting, the GM needs to know about it so he can track wealth by level.
I am not.
I didn't think you were.
Nope. So the item go to Xandu that Poe is paying for, and I'm going to make myself a hat of disguise.
Alrighty, make that check.
Okay, so yep, that bypasses both DCs.
I'm sure it does, yeah.
Yep.
I forget what the DC is.
It is 5 plus the
Plus caster level.
Yeah, plus
so
caster
it's
level.
DC 6.
Yeah, it would
well,
be
more than 6 for you because you don't have the feat anymore, so it's 7, 8, 9, 10, so it's an 11.
I have craft wondrous items.
Just not you got rid of arms and armor. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I just replaced that to actually be the SR for the most part.
I understand. Alrighty, they both succeed. That takes 2 days.
Cool. So should I just give Pogue the money that I have now and put a debt on there, like put a negative on my character sheet so I know?
Just make a note of it and pay me back the full amount when you got it.
Okay, so I'll put that under, I don't know, other currency, I guess. That way it's on my character sheet somewhere.
Makes sense. Alrighty, what's the next move, team?
The underground.
The underground. Are we ready to go?
Whoa, the meeting.
Or unless we're gonna wait. We're what Van said. We can wait for the people from Casimir and ask them to help us get back.
Okay. Is that what we'd like to do?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, Van wants this to happen. Van, roll some percentage dice.
Whoop.
Okay.
Now, do I ever get bonuses for being a lucky halfling? And,
you do.
That kind of thing?
So
Yeah.
4 days pass. I've lost all track of time. I think it's 2 weeks out until the meeting now. What could arrive? Actually, no, you know what arrives? Make a quick perception check, everyone.
An amorphous dragon looking for its skeleton.
Yeah, just a big old blob of like dragon flesh.
Dragon flesh, dragon flesh.
It's almost time for dragon flesh. Alrighty, I don't see any natural ones. Okay, so coming out of the Darklands, I have a lot of tabs open. I have way too many tabs open. I'm glad I don't have Firefox on OBS right now because otherwise it would just be mess as I'm flipping through everything. Where did I put? I'll just put it in here. There's 4 of them. They are pretty like disgusting looking. They're about Pogue's height, except they're like pale blue. They have these really huge bulging white eyes as they make their way. Like I said, the Darklands entrance comes up in the palace. As they make their way into the palace, they all have to like shield their eyes from the sun because they're just big old bulging white eyes that have probably never seen the light of day before. Just kind of like inching around trying to find people. They have this like crazy, almost like Einstein-esque wild silver hair, hands with 4 fingers.
They wear the sunglasses at night.
They don't have any sunglasses at all. They just kind of like, they're really weird. They just kind of set up in like, there's been a room set up. Basically the throne room has been turned into like a meeting hall. And people have dragged a bunch of tables and chairs, and these 4 weird looking things, about 3 foot tall each, just kind of take 4 chairs and sit and withdraw like really gross looking fungus from pockets you don't want to see the inside of and begin just munching on them and waiting.
Could I make a roll to know what they are?
You certainly could.
So that would be knowledge nature, right?
I feel like dungeoneering.
I go with.
I go with dungeoneering.
Yeah, dungeoneering would work.
Nature feels kind of wrong.
14, and I haven't used up all my spells for the day,
Another?
You guys, there's no aid another or spells necessary. You guys both succeed. You recognize Darrow. Pogue would know that Casimir has had Darrow problems throughout its history. People and like their dogs and stuff oftentimes go missing in Casimir, and like it's not uncommon for a weird like Frankenstein-y patchwork dog to be wandering the streets of Casimir at night. Actually, they have a name because that's how iconic they are. They are known as Casimir strays, essentially just like patchwork aberrant dogs that the Darrow experiment on.
Oh! It sounds like Lucy and the girls. We can be good friends.
Lucy's gonna try and date one of the Darrows now.
Territory where I kill you. Don't even.
No, I would not consider dating a girl because Lucia would consider that a worse off partner from a noble mindset.
Yeah, you would.
A fate worse than death, which for you is pretty much anything, right?
Yes. Even being a traitorous dead woman, she still have standards. Are they ex-traitor noble?
Yeah.
Ex-traitor made traitor again.
Right.
Does anybody know like anything about the Darrow?
The Darrow named Strawberry?
And how do you spell that?
Derro. They are let me give you guys would know a little bit. Pogue would know quite a bit because there's a Darrow settlement in the Darklands just like right under Casimir. What would you guys know? You would know that these guys are pretty insane, just by and large, as a species. The Darrow.
No. Like they're pretty insane, like sick or something. Like...
Insane, like they're like as a race, they're all crazy.
They're crazy.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm trying to give you a little more. They're pretty sadistic. These guys are descended from mysterious fae that once upon a time dwelt underground. These guys lust for the comforts of the surface world, but the light of the sun causes them to blister, burn, and die. How these guys are surviving, you're not sure, but it's definitely not a comfortable experience for them. Again, these guys are known to abduct surface dwellers. Pogue's probably had a friend or two go missing throughout his years, actually, and they'll perform horrible, gruesome, hideous experiments on them in a never-ending quest to figure out what protects people who live on the surface from the burning death of the sun. But this, like, the intrinsic madness of the species just kind of dooms the experiments to fail every time. More often than not, it's just traumatized victims return to their homes, memories not quite wiped out.
So
everybody's like they've been abducted by aliens. No, really, they saw them.
Yeah, exactly.
So these guys speak Aklo. Apparently, I'm guessing Xandu would recognize that.
Do they speak Aklo?
I think
they do.
I think they actually know Aklo and Undercommon, but I could be wrong.
You are correct.
Are they from? Ask them if they're from Casimir.
Does someone want to do that? Because at the moment they're just eating funny-looking mushrooms and by and large ignoring you.
Yes, sure. Paul, do you want to help me out?
They're the delegation from Casimir.
They are.
Does anybody else speak Aklo? Is the question.
I do.
Or Undercommon. Okay, we both speak
Aklo, but not Undercommon. So.
Well, which one of you is more diplomatic?
I'm guessing Xandu.
So 13 for diplomacy.
That's a +10 to Lucia's diplomacy. Wow. Xandu only has a +8.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Lucia goes to approach the four Darrow. They kind of just continue munching on their food and by and large ignoring you. They recognize you're speaking Aklo. They look up and just kind of, huh? And their hair kind of like out a little bit as they look up, and they just continue like, make me a knowledge nature check, actually, if you would.
Okay.
Which one?
from Lucia and Pogue, and probably
Okay.
Xander as well.
Okay, 15 negative natural 1.
Want to use that hero point?
Nope. It's just
Alrighty, the mushrooms.
Yes.
Alrighty.
What? He already used it to roll.
You can use mine. You can use mine.
okay.
Let's start a war. Jesus.
Yep, that's the plan.
20 better now.
20. Okay, you, for like a split second, you don't know why, but like the mushrooms they're eating look extremely tasty, and you should probably ask for one because they just look so good, and it just like running into a brick wall. It just dawns on you. Nope, those are incredibly poisonous. No. You're not sure how they're eating them and stomaching them. You know that they can't. You know that like they should be. Their stomachs are probably very sad, if not bleeding all over the place right now.
Okay, I'm not going to tell them.
Come here to die.
I am going to walk away and going to let them eat the mushrooms.
Alrighty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean they are Duro after all, and madness I cannot cure madness, unfortunately.
You're about to be a lich.
Lich is something I can deal with. Duro insanity is something I don't want to deal with.
He's okay with selling his soul, but going crazy in the process, nope, not his jam.
Right. I may be evil, but I'm not crazy.
This picture of a Darrow is a little too big for OBS. I'm literally just pulling these off Google on the fly as we improvise our way forward here.
No one wants to lose their agency, man.
Yeah, no, agency is like the most important part of Pathfinder. Anybody else?
Yeah, what are these? What are they doing here?
Oh, what are they talking about?
They're just kind of making nonsense noises. Like, it's Aklo, but it kind of sounds.
Tuesday. Did you bring your coat?
Can I?
Yeah, Joe's pretty much got it. Yeah.
Can I figure out any parts of the conversation that actually makes sense?
Perhaps like a sense motive check.
Okay. I feel like this is a point roll, so I'm going to use my last a bit of luck bonus.
Alrighty, understood.
So
Nice.
18.
All right, they're speaking in backwards nonsense. Joe's pretty on that thinking.
Is it Tuesday? Did you bring your coat? The sun is bright in the Darklands. Purple Eridan people are, I need other words, Osirion, land of the Norn Kings.
But you kind of like, you put it together that they're just waiting on everyone else.
Okay.
Now, could they, to answer everyone's first question, could they lead you back to Casimir? Probably. It's a matter of communicating with these insane people.
So
Let's see who else shows up.
So what if I talk backwards like them? Would that work?
Make a linguistics check.
Okay.
Oh, Xandu's got some good linguistics. I don't
It
know
is
if
something
Lucia's is better, but
yes, plus 17.
Just barely.
Well, you can still roll, Colin. There's nothing saying
Yeah,
that you can't.
I can aid.
Nice.
29.
2 29s. Okay, yeah, you say the strange things you say to the Darrow, and the Darrow just kind of look up, and I need to just find random things on my desk that make sense for Pathfinder, and most of it.
$10 bill, Xbox controller, great value, gummy food, snake.
I can't, that makes no sense. But that's basically the idea, and you guys are able to, like, establish there's big air quotes, dialogue between these guys.
Yeah, I am imagining talking backwards in Akko is giving Lucia headaches.
It's not necessarily talking backwards so much as it's like talking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like actually
Xandu
starting
does
to
have
make sense.
his hat of disguise on.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you look like? What do you both look like?
So he thinks he's a giant anthropomorphic rabbit as he's saying crazy.
Quick question. How common is the race of Dampure in this part of the world?
Before you roll, let's have both of you make disguise checks.
Okay.
These guys have a negative wisdom and have no ranks in sense motive.
Mm-hmm.
So 1, 2, 3. I'm betting they don't sniff you out.
33. So I would look like a female Dampure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they assume you are whatever it is you're pretending to be.
Like the disguise self, it just sort of like
another humanoid you.
Clothes, stuff like that. Like you still look like humanoid.
Oh yeah, that's
like
right.
Human or whatever race you are.
Yeah, it's not alter self, it's disguise. Well, I think disguise self lets you.
Disguise self, you make yourself, including clothing, armor, weapons, and equipment, look different. You can seem 1 foot taller or shorter, thin, fat, or in between.
You can't change your creature type, but you can appear as another subtype. So you both could go from humanoid human to like humanoid. Well, you couldn't do vampire. I don't think those are
Dampier. It's a humanoid subtypes.
Oh, well, fair enough. Never mind then.
I suppose Xandu would appear. He can seem a foot shorter, so probably he'd appear to be a half elf.
Sure.
A tall dwarf.
Okay, how about a tall halfling?
Deal.
A real tall halfling.
In
But
stiletto.
he's also a foot shorter than he normally is and a bit thinner.
Alrighty.
You could be a Tengu.
They're pretty amazing.
Jeez.
So you guys still, like, you have the attention of the Darrow. You could, like...
So are we able to, like, understand what they're saying based on the linguistics? Or is it...
For the most part, it's still really weird. It's still, like...
Yeah.
Nonsense, but you get the gist that they've arrived first. They're here waiting for everyone else. It's really bright and painful up here. It's a good thing that they have, and they, like, all three in unison... They take another, well, there's 4. All 4 in unison take a really big bite of these mushrooms that are, again, very poisonous, but you get the feeling they're shielding, the mushrooms are shielding the Darrow from the sunlight. Would that even kill them? I'm not entirely... They're vulnerable to sunlight, but it's not, they're not gonna, like, vampire out. But they think they'll vampire out.
1 point of con damage per hour they're out here.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, they're eating those mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do a knowledge nature roll to see how long it's going to take for the mushroom they're eating to just to kill them. I'm just curious. These mushrooms are damaging them, but I'm just curious.
Okay, make that knowledge nature check.
Make a knowledge nature to know what those mushrooms are. I don't know what that plant is.
They are poisonous mushrooms. So knowledge nature 30. So
Ugh, Druid, where you at? With that natural 6.
Rolling bad.
You think that mushrooms are plants?
Yeah. So what do I know? So can I have a rough timetable? The mushrooms effect will take on them eventually.
You get the feeling that probably most likely the worst that the Darrow are going to get from consuming these mushrooms is like bad gas. Now, if you were to eat one, you'd die on the spot. But it's yeah, maybe that too. But it's like it's just not as poisonous to the Darrow, possibly because they've eaten so many recently, possibly because like they subsist on these in the Darklands.
Oh, okay. So it's safe to say this is some type of a immunity or a resistance they build up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got the
Cool.
idea.
Okay.
Does it raise their charisma too?
Nope.
To make them a fun guy? Come on.
Ha.
Oh. I'm thinking Xandu might try some detect thoughts on these guys.
All right. That will probably be a huge mess, but you're welcome to do so.
It'll like, I know they're crazy, but would it detect thoughts also make? I don't think it would make me crazy.
No, there's no like.
What they're thinking.
There might.
He got the crazy.
Prepare to get on Mr. Bones' wild ride.
These guys actually have 16 charisma. Good job, guys. But 5 wisdom. Bad job, guys.
So I was right about the fun guy.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. Okay, so you cast detect thoughts, and it's pretty much as soon as the thought crosses their head, it like hits their brain, leaves their mouth in that solid stream, essentially. It's almost kind of like you're listening to them in stereo now.
Okay. That's interesting.
Learn anything?
Again, it's like as soon as it crosses their mind, they say it.
Yeah, it's just a matter of if anybody will even know that Xandu's cast anything, because he's a psychic caster.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's like and there's been contention on this throughout a bunch of things, but I had to look it up because I wanted to be sure. Like, you have logic and thought components, so you don't say anything or move your hands, but there's still like, you don't say abracadabra, but there's like little flashes of light and things like that. There's like, people know you are casting a spell.
You do the like one of the early episodes of Star Trek. You know what I'm talking about, Tommy? When the kid just like looks down.
Charlie X, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie X.
It's essentially Charlie X. And there's like, your eyes probably roll back, and there's like...
Yeah, that I figure. It's just a lot more subtle.
Yeah, no, that's for sure,
Someone who's not a caster may or may not know.
Someone who's not a caster will at least assume like spell-like ability. These guys, on the other hand... well, can they cast? They cannot cast. They're pretty bad at everything. They just continue eating their mushrooms.
Gotcha. So it's pretty much thought to mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an echo.
Yeah.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
They are very cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, yes.
Oh boy.
Basically a bunch of teenagers. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're waiting on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Xandu, for the most part, leave them alone.
And I guess you would also, like, they would say, and you would get bits and pieces of, like, how dangerous it is in the Darklands, like, talking about Gugs and Vemarax, and, even, like, if you go farther down, if somebody accidentally travels too far down and hits, like, aboleths or more dangerous things than that, or, like, Darrow, who would rather just experiment on them, Drow and Druger, who would just take them as slaves, etc., etc.
The vault.
Did they happen to mention anything whatsoever about the Void Weaver? Like, Xandu's not going to ask anything, but he's gonna listen in.
It would definitely be in their wheelhouse.
Huh?
I said it would definitely be in their wheelhouse. You probably actually get a little bit about a lot of random strange entities, just that you assume are various great old ones or like entities thereof.
The sky is purple, king in yellow. Mushroom for you, Cthulhu.
I didn't mean to rhyme, but it was good. That's the name of the episode. Right there, that's it. Mushroom for you, Cthulhu. Oops.
Great.
That'll be the name in like parentheticals.
Yeah, title of the episode.
Episode 20 whatever. Xandu does some Googling. A mushroom for you, Cthulhu.
Question. Pogue's sitting here wondering who's putting these guys up, like where they're going to stay and everything?
It appears they're just going to stay right where they are. They've made themselves comfortable. In fact, all four of them...
for a few days?
All four of them have kicked off their, like, really terrible-looking foot wraps that are almost shoes. Some of them are wearing these really, like, thick cloaks. They've removed them. Probably to just expose, like, patchwork, almost nothing clothes and very, like, frail bluish-purple bodies underneath.
So... the question is, like, does Xandu get any information out of this besides just names?
Yeah, let's roll some percentage dice. That's... You do not.
Darn.
No, we hope they're not coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather have some guides that are a little less nuts.
These guys could definitely get you there. There's no question.
So...
They get us somewhere, but where, we don't know.
The other 11 factions, which one do you think we will have the best chance convincing to help us travel through the Darklands?
It's hard to say. The one from Casimir has arrived, and it's a 4 Darrow.
Oh, is that...
That's
we've
them.
determined that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, again, Pogue knows that under... Let me actually get the... I have my Taldor splat book open, because I knew I'd need this.
Right.
In addition to widespread poverty and crime typical of a city its size, Casimir also faces a more secretive threat. Not far beneath the city lies the Darklands Darrow settlement of Korganbeer, and countless subterranean tunnels and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's these guys.
Oh, well then if they're going home, then we can go with them.
Yeah, they would, like, they're waiting for the rest of everybody else to show up, but they would take you.
Right.
And, like, truthfully, they would probably have the fastest routes through the Darklands. Again, it's just, like, between here and there, where are these crazy people going to take you?
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't have to like it.
I'm going for a change in character for Lucia. She's going to absolutely trust Poe that he knows what he's doing to
All
get
right.
them there.
Well, that's stupid, but okay.
I mean, you want to get there, and she trusts you enough that you're not going to throw her under the bridge to be killed.
No.
So there's a...
Three under the bridge to be killed by a troll? Or I got a troll. Alright, so, yeah, well, we'll wait, but, so, do they speak anything else then besides Undercommon?
They speak Aklo and Undercommon, but it's mostly just backwards craziness.
Okay. But, so Poe can't communicate with them directly then?
Mm-hmm.
That's right?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you have comprehend language. No, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
Even that only allows you to listen in. It doesn't allow you to speak it.
Right. No, the question was whether they happen to know any common because they lived under the city or anything. They were part of the raiding parties or...
I don't feel like they talked to the people they kidnapped so much as they just screamed at them and hit them with clubs.
That's probably accurate.
They probably do that. They do not know what common is. It's a bunch of gargle words.
Well, what happened? They just started screaming lemon pudding and stabbed me.
Never got food behind! Spap!
Is spap? Is that the sound it made? Spap.
Spap.
I don't know. It's a club made of meat.
A meat club.
Gross.
Oh,
I'm curious if anyone would happen to know what these guys worship.
You might. Pogue might.
Knowledge religion? Could I do that? Or
yeah, knock yourself out.
Does not have knowledge religion, but maybe based on like their speech, you could get an idea. I don't know.
Knowledge religion 25.
Okay.
15 to help.
It's... Now, these Darrow are obviously exceptions to the rule, probably, because they've showed up and they seem willing to help, and they're not trying to, like, take you prisoners and experiment on you, but you assume the various, like, demon lords that are popular in the Darklands. For example, like, the Drow worship the chiefest of all vampires, Zura. That's not uncommon for the Darrow to do the same. It's not uncommon for the Darrow to stray into, like, Great Old One worship, or even, like, more crazier things than that. Like, things like if they were to come across a bit of technology that's a little over their head, and they're not stupid, they're just backwards. But if they were to come across, like a very advanced firearm, perhaps that's the new god, or, like, something that's a little too magical, things like that.
Man, I gotta take you guys to Numenera. You'd love it there.
They'd lose their minds.
Numenera, not Numenera.
I'm curious. So, do these arrows have any religious items on them, or no items like that?
Let's just see. That's a good question. As always, we'll let the percentage dice decide, and I've rolled an 86. Okay. Let's do one. Yeah, okay, sure. All 4 of them, and you guys just now noticed this. You're not sure why you didn't notice it, because it's a pretty big deal that I'm trying to stretch out as I'm Googling it. Because I want to make sure I call it correctly and don't call it what it isn't. All of these guys have strapped around, like, their necks, or in one case, like, awkwardly, like, pierced, like, a septum hanging down. In some cases, like, tattooed on them. All of them have... Oh, that doesn't help me at all. We'll do the Archives of Nethys. The Archives of Nethys is a very reliable source. And okay, they all have, like, 3 daggers, which are arrayed in, like, a triangle pattern. Pogue very quickly recognizes Callistria's holy symbol. Which is even scarier, because these guys appear to worship the god of lust, revenge, and trickery.
Okay, this bothers Lucia more. Insane girls who worship Callistria.
Yes. Oh, divine prostitutes. Darrow divine prostitutes.
Yup.
There's another optional title for you.
Yep. There's so many optional titles.
After this.
There's another one.
Pogue looks at him and was like, I've screwed worse.
That I don't doubt.
Poe, these are Calistria followers. Are you
Hey,
sure?
can my wasp talk to him?
Can it? The percentage dice say yes. It's awkward, but yeah.
Yes.
Tommy,
Helping Celestia followers and everything, right?
Tommy, would I know if when it comes to Calistriaites, would they betray one another usually, or are they more of a friendly truce not to betray each other?
Make a knowledge religion check.
But I know that one though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to ask Poe.
That is a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So Poe, these Jero, are you sure they can be trusted? They are Calistriite followers. Or...
The Calistriites aren't necessarily out to betray anybody, but by the same token, all of the different sects of Calistria aren't necessarily, the worship is the same, and so it depends on kind of the book that they follow, and I forgot off the top of my head what it is. Their holy book that changes from sect to sect, but if they're anything like, it's generally not a, you'd have to worry about them if you've done something to them and you saw that they were followers of Calistria. There was a good chance that they're out to get you, but we haven't done anything to them. So if anything, their vengeance might be a vengeance. They're here to get vengeance against something else. Either that, or they want to have sex with the overworld dwellers.
That all tracks.
Thanks for calming my nerves. I was unsure about them.
Yeah,
so if you haven't done anything wrong to them, then they shouldn't be after you. But who knows?
Yeah,
they might have a crush on you, Lucia.
Yeah, they could be after you, just in a different way.
Like I said, they are, like, under their cloaks. A lot of them are, I won't say scantily clad because that puts a connotation on it that I'm not necessarily trying to spin, but their clothes are pretty disheveled and a lot of their form is not left to the imagination.
They're lumpy.
They are probably lumpy. With their, like, big old Albert Einstein hair and, like, beards that go down to their belly buttons.
Alright, do we want to trust these lumpy men to lead us through the Underdark?
They'd certainly
do. We're
do
not going anywhere yet, so maybe we can find out if their speech changes during this meeting.
Makes sense.
I mean, how far is the meeting away?
You guys are like 2.5 weeks in.
Oh, okay.
So they're just
2.5 weeks into the month.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it's like 10 days or something.
Yeah, you guys have about 10 days, yeah. You figure that more people should be arriving, like tomorrow somebody might show up.
Gotcha.
Right. I don't have comprehend language. I could probably use comprehend language. But Pogue has a fair linguistics bonus. So I guess if he had to, he could maybe get his point across. And we just determined, by the way, that he could talk through
the wasp.
Yeah,
the wasp.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
I never established this, but I never said anything about Pogue having an identifying amulet or anything as a follower of Calistria. But I kind of assume he would, but if he doesn't, then he goes and gets one.
Fair enough. Also, you guys would know, well, maybe not all of you. There was, when I said it in the game, and this is, I think, before Kane and and Colin joined us, and Joe said high cholesterol after I had Rivariel say hi bicholestria. But you guys aren't the only like you could go find him, and it might be a little bit of a like nudge in the right direction. Assuming Rivariel wouldn't just outright kill the Darrow. He might want to, but he won't.
Why would he kill the Darrow? I forgot.
Because
he's
high
cholesterol.
It was when you guys were in the dungeons and you guys hadn't showed up yet, and I had that NPC turn the corner just bicholestria, and Joe's just high cholesterol. That session should have been called eggs.
That's a pretty funny joke.
A mushroom for you, Cthulhu.
So what is the general consensus? Do we trust the girls or not?
Well, you guys can make a sense motive check.
That's fair enough.
Pretty good at that, but I can't understand a damn thing they're saying.
Yeah, I will act as your translator.
The Wasp can do it too.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
I think I'm just waiting on Xandu.
Xandu's gonna have nowhere near those numbers, so I'm not even gonna have him roll.
Alright, that's probably
That's
safe.
fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna spend my hero point because I'm upset by these.
because you're tired of rolling 4s. Fair enough, make it happen.
Just don't get a 1.
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah.
Not a
There's
1.
something wrong with this dice rolling machine of a blob.
The RNG has screwed you once again, but all of you get the feeling that they're not going to betray you. It's like they're definitely completely insane, but they're not going to experiment on you. They obviously they benefit probably just as much from the Empire being overthrown as you guys do. Granted, they would probably just go back to experimenting on folk afterwards, but right now you guys have a common enemy.
Well, Poe gets across his point that he sees that they are fellow followers of Calistria, and as is he, and that they know that if they were to betray him, that their common God would not be very happy and would do everything in her power to make sure that Poe got just revenge on them and their people. Just saying.
Fair enough.
Casually.
Right.
Thinly veiled threat.
Backwards.
Yes.
Kind of petulant I can get behind.
Well, yeah, they seem to understand. They continue to just burble nonsense, but it's like they get it.
All right.
Why does the icebox have no light in Irison?
You changed the water filter.
You change your water filter. The sea is frozen. Blue scorpion.
Scorpion. Well, now I have to do that.
Why start chanting Scorpion at each other?
Scorpion, scorpion, scorpion.
And they start bouncing a little bit off their little chairs. And now I have more to edit.
I would imagine after hearing enough nonsense talk, Lucia would go back to her apprentice in the room, have some talk to get rid of the nonsense.
Is Yarva here as well?
Yes.
All right, hold up. I didn't realize that. Okay, so the Darrow, they're suddenly aware, as so am I, that Yarva is here, and they unanimously stand up. They're as they're moving, they are eating the mushrooms in time with one another, as if they're all moving by one divine force, and they kind of waddle walk over to, I almost called him Mirandil, over to Yarva and start, they all have these weird, gross-looking quarterstaffs that kind of look like they're just, exceptionally big stalagmites that have been broken off and, whittled down to make a quarterstaff. And they all, in time, just start poking Yarva with the pointy end.
Poking him.
It's enough to draw blood, and it's enough to pull bits of the flesh away.
I am going to ask them nicely to stop what they're doing to my apprentice.
All right, make a diplomacy check. This is not where I thought the session was going, but all right.
Yeah.
They all extend one hand and
20
to tap him repeatedly.
23.
All right, they all four look at. Oh, okay. They all four start to look at you, and then look over at Van, at Pogue, and they just. I need more random nonsense words. Let's taking stuff from Hat of Disguise's entry isn't random nonsense. Here's a book.
Casimir hostile creatures patchwork.
But they put their stalactistaffs down and they begin just poking them with like their pointer fingers.
Okay, my apprentices have been through a lot. He became technically undead. He had his arm grew back, and he being poked. I feel sorry for my apprentice.
Mangy whimpers, stinking blue.
This is great.
This is quite great.
Milk Hotel.
We can be done whenever, Van. I'm just running with Crazy Darrow, I guess.
Roll 4d6 and drop the lowest.
They start speaking in metagame.
Gunslingers are okay if you'd like to play them.
Fuck, they're self-aware.
Vital Strike can be used on any single attack action. Take max hit points at every drool drips from its fangs.
It's been like about 3 hours, so is this a good point to?
We've probably hit a good stopping point. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything they want to say or do?
I would treat my apprentice wounds.
All right, sure. It is done. They continue to poke at him.
Racial modifiers +4 stealth in urban environments.
Okay, while this is going on, I just watch and see what I can learn.
All right, make a linguistics check. This will be the last roll, then we'll call it here.
I was gonna say Zandu will also. Zandu's been actively listening. So
Zandu can go ahead and roll. That's fine. Zandu can roll.
34. So what do I make out being said?
Zandu has no idea what is going on, but Lucia gets
that was a horrible roll.
Do you want to use your hero point? We're at the end of the session.
Yeah,
I'm beginning to understand the meta truth of the reality.
27.
All right, so Zandu kind of like shakes his. What are they even talking? Oh my god! And like Lucia realizes it as well. Like these Darrow have never seen something with a bloodline as powerful as Yarva's apparently is, and they've taken to like borderline worshiping the poor son of a gun as a god.
Okay, this is something I can work with. I prepared the spell message for the day, and I message Yarva, you are their god. Act like one.
Hunting of beasts serve as animal companion.
Tommy, you made Yarva into a temporary god, so I'm going to exploit it as much as I can.
Alright, now this will be the last roll. I don't know what Yarva adds. I know you have his sheet. Have him make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
He begins parroting lines from Road to El Dorado.
Okay.
He pulls out a lute and starts playing it like vertically for some reason.
Yeah.
6.
He just kind of like his mouth falls open and he kind of like leans down and one of the Darrow gets his finger in his mouth a little too far.
Okay.
And triggers what should be Yarva's gag reflex, but he seems to not have one, you imagine, because the boy is a little too undead.
Entirely new animals represent exceptional, demanding ever more delightful excursions.
Just reading random bestiary entries.
Oh man. The next time I run a game, I'm putting a group of something that have like they all came to terms with the truth at once. You know?
Okay,
I don't know why I've never done this before, Darrow.
Okay, Tommy. So with a bit of a gag reflex, how about what alcohol content Yarva been drinking fall onto this?
Again, like I said, Yarva has no. You could order Yarva to try to throw up, I guess, but like there's no. He doesn't have a gag reflex because he's pretty much just a zombie.
He doesn't retch. It just like a bunch of mead just rises from the back of his throat and slowly comes out his open mouth.
Yeah.
Just kind of like squirts it out like a rubber duck.
Roof gardens derive their names from originally native to a thick carpet of moss.
As a spray of me just like hits him right between the eyes, he doesn't even blink.
They see it as like the second, like it's kind of like going to church and eating the cracker and drinking the wine, that kind of thing. They just stop it.
Baptism. They're taking it like it's communion.
Yep.
I am the cracker.
Father, Son, and the holy vomit.
Lucia she's enjoying all this.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
Oh.
All right, we need to call it. It's late. I want to keep screwing around with Darrow, but it is what it is. So before we go, guys, as we all know, the Doomsday Dawn giveaway is live right now. We need to get about 50-ish bucks a month on Patreon. And yes, Kane, to answer your question on Tuesday, if you're crazy enough to give me 50 bucks a month on Patreon and sustain that through like long enough where I can justify taking a day off work, I'll run 6 of the subscribers to Black Dragon Gaming through the Doomsday Dawn adventure, first ever published bit of anything for Pathfinder 2nd edition. You guys can find links to that giveaway and our next giveaway kicking off, well, not kicking off, but celebrating the coming to an end of Pathfinder 1st edition with a tournament. I need 16 players. I need the most min-maxed characters you can build so we can kill each other. Links to both and links to our Patreon are in the description. As always, guys, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. And I guess I'm going to play some more Crazy Darrow next time. Say bye, guys.
Nice.
Bye, guys.
The Darrow will also say goodbye.
The monster rears up to ability focus phantasmal killer.